All right, so how you going, everyone? I haven't done a down back to block cast for ages, but we have with us. Hopefully, you guys can hear. We've got 11 people already here, so thank you everyone for showing up. We have the absolute legend, the bamboo under the fingernails. Right? We have MK Confessions. How you going, man?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm good. We can talk about whatever. I recommend anyone that hates us and are watching this bring a menstrual pad because it's gonna get bloody. Right. So
get messy.
So do you wanna sort of introduce yourself and just kind of stake your claim to fame and where people can find you? So
awesome. Appreciate it, man. So as you guys may know, I'm MK Confessions. I'm the MK Confessions account on Twitter, and pretty much how I rose to fame pretty much was I talk mess, don't care if I hurt people's feelings, and I continue on my day, and that's how I rise to fame. And everything I say, like I said in my Twitter account, I keep it 100%. I keep it real, and that's the way it always should be. So if I'm known to be the villain of Twitter, I honestly don't care.
As the way it should be. And you did post a very spicy thing about missing how the girls look like sluts from MK9, right?
I do.
And they, I mean, listen, man, like you have what was it, Melina's challenge tower reward, her wearing toilet paper, basically.
Yeah, I think so what happened was in that post I was actually quote retweeting. So I think the original Twitter post, somebody had a picture of Tanya when she was yelling that everyone uses around Twitter nowadays.
Yeah.
And then she was standing next to I forget. It was definitely some sexy outfit of a girl. So I just quote retweeted, and I was like, I miss the girls looking like sluts. And it was a joke because they always call me a porn addict or whatever because I want a sexy woman in the game. Which, I mean, who doesn't want a sexy woman in me? If you're a man, a straight man at that, obviously you're gonna want to see sexy woman.
Yeah.
Fantasy or not, I play games to escape. So I just posted that. Boom, give it like an hour or two. Twitter, pitchforks, torches, all coming at me. I'm just like, I'm used to it.
But like that's the weird thing, like, because we were talking a little bit before that, when you check the when you check the channels, like the pages on X of these people that are calling us Kumas and porn addicts and all sorts of stuff like that, the they thems and whatnot. When you go to their Twitter page, like they're literally wanting to, like, disconnect their jaw for Kenshi. Do you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And it's so weird. Like, they call us porn addicts, but you guys are literally talking about how you want to have sex with a fictional male character and talking about, oh, is their booty hole green? Or, oh my God, they could top me, they could gag me, Kenshi's sword, or the Shirai Ryu, touching the Shirai Ryu members. I'm like, you guys go say this, and then 10 minutes later, you're getting on somebody else's case calling them a porn addict. So it was like, you gotta be a hypocrite. Like, if you're gonna be a hypocrite, I mean, at least, be funny with it. Like, come on now. Like I said, like, I don't care. Like, I've said it plenty of times when they come on my post. I say, I don't care if you guys gush over the male characters. I don't care if you gush over an animal. Gush over whatever you want. Yeah. But if I talk about sexy woman and you want to talk about your sexy man, don't get on me, because you're doing the exact same thing, and actually you're doing it 10 times worse than what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because you're actually showing their genitals now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, see, well, I mean, this is the unfortunate side effect. So I don't know if there's a little bit of a history here. The reason why, like, Twitter and now X is basically a haven for degenerates is because of the collapse of Tumblr. Did you know about the story of Tumblr? Did you know about that?
So I do know of Tumblr, but I didn't know the collapse of Tumblr. Care to explain on that?
Yeah. So what happened was that like, I don't know, a few years ago, maybe it might have been 2015 or something. I can't remember. I'd have to check. Basically, what happened was that Apple, because obviously, like, an app is on their app stores, right? Tumblr had an app on the Apple Store, and Apple found out that they had people that like to hang around primary schools, right? They had communities like that on Tumblr, right? That like a certain age bracket that you shouldn't like as an adult, if we can say it that way. Now, Apple basically said, if you do not remove these people from your app, we will take the app off the App Store. So what Tumblr did is that they purged all the prawn, just wiped it out, everything off the platform. And of course, what happens is that when you essentially render a community homeless, it happens all the time. If an MMO collapses or is about to collapse, a lot of people go, oh, okay, where can we go? What's a game that's similar that we can play? So unfortunately, because obviously Twitter allows prawn, they all went to Twitter with their degenerate stuff. And then of course you'll notice that whenever that happened, that's when we started to see the slow but sure implementation of all of their degenerate ideas and thoughts and disgusting behaviors. And that is how it actually became mainstream. All of that stuff was locked away on Tumblr like an insane asylum. But then the asylum went out of business, and then everyone basically came to the most popular platform. If Elon Musk actually banned prawn off X, dude, it would clean up almost overnight. Like 100%.
Oh, definitely.
Right? Because they don't allow that stuff on Facebook and Instagram and things like that. Like, it's generally a lot cleaner experience. But if you take degeneracy out of a community, it will clean up 100%. So, you know, and I'd be happy with that. I'd be perfectly happy with that. But I don't know if Elon would ever do it. But, you know, I think he should. But that's why we now have, just obviously now in relation to MK and other stuff, that's why we have Stan accounts, right?
Oh,
you know,
Stan
people, these people literally go, I need Countess Jade. Today I'm asking again, where's Countess Jade? Or day 198 of asking for Serena on the main roster. It's like, shut up! Just, dude, these people aren't real. You know, like, they're cool, like like a cool character and stuff. But I think there is, I don't know, man. Like, these people take it way too far.
Way too seriously. And I said, as soon as I see a Stan count, if I see like a Scarlet or any of the woman characters, usually like the Adenium ones that usually be having the most craziest ones.
Yeah.
Because don't get me wrong, man, there's actually a few Stan accounts, you know, that do like characters. Yeah. I think there's one named Countess Jade. They're really cool. They don't cause any problems. They, you know, they still act like a normal fan. And then you got some who there's one who has like an Atara fan picture. And they're the main ones talking about the men's genitals, having sex with men or anything like that. They get mad when I talk about the woman outfits. So it's like these Stan accounts, they choose when they want to be morally good, but then they're one of the most morally corrupt on the whole app, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, like what's the current thing? The Kenshi Johnny Cage crap.
Well, they're saying that they have some romance together. Because I guess they were just nice to each other in story mode, so I guess they're into each other, which makes absolutely no sense. And you know what? I was like, you know what? Okay, I'll let them have their fun. If they want to say they have some little showmance going on, then whatever. But the moment, if I say Katana and let's say Jade are lesbian lovers and they're about to have a sex tape, don't you take your pitchforks and start trying to stab me or whatever, because that's exactly what they'll do.
This is what happened with Frodo and Sam. From Lord of the Rings, like if we go back to, you know, 2001 or whenever like Lord of the Rings came out, you know, and of course, like I've read the books, so you know, like they it's just like they're just friends. Do you know what I mean? Like they're just friends. Right?
Exactly.
But you had the weirdos out there, like, you know, well, I wonder what Frodo's hover hole's like. It's like, what the hell's the matter with you? Right.
It's just weird to me because they think that men can't show affection, you know, of course, platonic affection to another man. They think the moment a man stares at another man more than 2 seconds, then they're in some type of weird relationship. And it's not the case. Like I said, men can show affection to other men.
Now, I don't know what your religious proclivities are, but I'm going to go on record, and I think I have before, and say that I am an absolute devout Christian. And I will absolutely stand the Bible all the way, right? So, the reason why I mention that is because these people have bound their entire identity to their sexuality. So therefore, taking exact what you just said, right? They hug and it's like, oh, they must be getting boners. They must be getting a stiffy. It's like, no, they're just, do you know what I mean? Like, these are the people that are sitting there going, you know what? I don't know if you've seen the movie The Shawshank Redemption. You know, I'm wondering if, what's his name? Tim? What's the main character's? I can't think of. Tim Robbins. You know, I wonder if Tim Robbins at the end of Shawshank Redemption is going to bang Morgan Freeman on the beach under his boat. Or some shit like that, right? And it's like, no, they're just, do you know what I mean? Like, it's because they're taught it or they believe it or whatever, that their sexuality is their entire identity. So that's why they get so sensitive when you say, oh, I don't like that. Right? I don't want to see two dudes making out. It's gross. Right? Like, I don't want to see two straight people that are fugly as shit make out either. Like, but you know, but because their identity is tied completely to their sexuality, they think you're actually attacking them, right?
Exactly.
So, and they don't seem to understand that, and that's why they get so hostile. And you know, oh, we've got to have we've got to have Tanya and Melina, like, you know, having a bang-on session in a fucking fighting game, man. It's a fighting game.
Thank you. It's a fighting game. They want these characters, like, you know, back when I was a kid, I never pictured any Mortal Kombat character ever being in a relationship, except for the ones that were shown to be in a relationship. So, you know, in the movies, they established, you know, Liu Kang, Katana, and Johnny Cage and Sonya as, like, the couples of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
So I was okay with that. But then people get these weird fan canons, and they want it to be actually real. So, like, this whole Tanya Melina relationship, it's forced, obviously, and I don't like it, because one, it takes away both traits from characters. Like I said, like, Tanya in a relationship, like, come on, like, stop trying to humanize this girl. She's supposed to be an evil woman.
Yeah.
Like, and hopefully, MK1 is just setting her up for her betrayal. Like, I still feel like deep down she's still gonna be the real Tanya. And then Melina, like, you know, having her as a partner or whatever. Like I said, like, I don't have nothing against, like I said, I try not to, I don't, you know, I try not to be homophobic, because I have a few friends who are part of the LGBT community.
Yeah.
But I do understand where some people can be frustrated with that community, because the way they act on Twitter is unacceptable.
Yeah.
They will attack you for saying something that they don't agree with, and it's kind of like they try to harass people themselves.
Yeah.
So regarding them, I think what it was a post I made about Mary Jane from Spider-Man. So obviously Mary Jane from this new Spider-Man game isn't hot. I'm sorry, but she's not hot. Mary Jane is supposed to be, you know, one of the most beautiful women in the world. This girl looked like somebody else see at Walmart, Target, probably at the park walking my dog. So obviously I'm gonna say something about it. Yeah. And as soon as I said it, somebody in the inbox, hey, MK Confessions, why do you hate women so much? Or like say, I don't see you have all this flack for the girls in the 3D era or whatever they be on. I'm like, well, sir, the 3D era girls were hot.
Yeah.
This girl is not. So why does it bother you guys so much I want hot woman, but yet you guys turn around and talk about how much you guys want hot men to have sex with you?
Yeah.
Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, yeah, like Mary Jane, like, that's hitting. I think it's one of those, another self-insert. It looks like it's another self-insert from a developer or a writer or something. But whatever Viagra is, Mary Jane in Spider-Man 2 is the fucking opposite. You know what I mean? Like my penis would hide behind my balls. If that was the last woman on Earth and we could save the human race, I'd be like, nah, let's just call it quits.
Right. So I guess the events of the last game stressed Mary Jane's out so much that she changed faces or whatever. So
yeah. See, I got a couple of friends, like, they're gay, right? I don't understand, because like I take a diet shit, and I'm just like, that's coming out. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want something like that going back. You know what I mean? You know, that's it. Like, you know, but I'm just joking, like, but like the thing is though that, like, I don't care. At the end of the day, like, you know, obviously, like, you know, the problem with the whole like phobic thing, and you know, like going back to what we're saying, is that you know, the word phobia generally has two meanings. The first one is you're like severely afraid of it. So I'm afraid of spiders, so I'm, you know, arachnophobic. But also the other meaning for phobia, right, or being phobic, is an aversion, right, meaning basically a dislike, or whatever. So if you paint your house baby shit green, does that mean I'm, you know, baby shit green phobic? No, it just means that there's an aspect I don't agree with, and that's fine. Like, I don't drink, I've never done drugs, any of that sort of stuff ever. You know, I don't think it's good for you, I don't think it's healthy. I know lots of people that do. That's fine. You know, like, people you can have an opinion and it doesn't have to kill anything, right? But but we're in a world and social media and obviously, you know, hate and negativity and all that sort of stuff does fuel a lot of that sort of, we need to keep people being angry because then we can get more engagement. You know, if we all got along, then it's, you know, it's not as exciting for the advertisers, you know.
It's not.
But yeah, like it does feel forced in Mortal Kombat, with the Tanya Tanya Melina thing. It's just, yeah, it's just weird, and it's again too because like, I think was it Steve Baren that came out in the beginning with MK11? Was it him that came out and said, "Oh, we can't have women in bikinis showing up to a fight because that's not realistic"? Was it him?
I think that was. I'm not sure if it was actually him. I think I did know Ed Boon definitely had a comment on that. But Steve Byrne, I don't know if I heard anything from him. I just know for a fact Ed Boon say that they're in a more mature way now that, you want to be wearing a bikini to a fight. Which is like, that's one thing that bothers me because I think I did share a video of Ed Boon. I did look a little, I think I cut out a snippet of him when he was doing an interview for Mortal Kombat 3. And he clearly said, no one wants to pay for reality. It's boring.
Yeah.
So now you want your game to be reality when people are literally killing each other in the most gruesome ways.
Yeah.
So reality goes out the door already. You got people shooting fireballs. You got lizard people, half horse, half men, like people from other realms. But yet you want girls to be fully covered, which, may I remind you, is not realistic anyway. Because if you're in a fight, you're not going to want to wear much clothing because that restricts you.
Yep.
And people could grab onto that. So the way Scarlet was dressed in Mortal Kombat 11 was highly impractical because, one, she's fully clothed, which her body can heat up, so she's going to be hot.
Yep.
Two, she has heels on. Why the hell do all these girls got heels on?
Yeah, no, they got heels on, but no bikini. That's unrealistic.
Yes, but they can walk around in heels and fight in heels. And then on top of that, she's wearing loose fabric, which once again, someone could grab onto that. And then same with Mortal Kombat 1. For some reason, they have this weird metallic thing going on with the girls, but yet they're still wearing, heavy jewelry, all got open-toed heels for some reason.
Yep.
And they want to say that bikini's impractical. I'm like, look, if you're going to go into a fight, you're going to want to wear less clothing. And I'm pretty sure since half these girls are supposed to be ninja assassins anyway, I think you're not going to want to expect the assassins wearing a bikini compared to what Jade was wearing in Mortal Kombat 11. But hey, that's just me though. Like I say, like I'm big on like, what? I love fantasy. Yeah. When I want to play a video game, I want to escape reality. So if I want to see a hot, sexy girl rip somebody's head off, I want to see that. I don't want to see some girl from Target rip someone's head off.
Yeah, like when you think about it, like we've been playing games for however long either one of us have been playing games, right? And like 99% of the dudes in these games are like chads, big, buff, attractive looking, got all the chicks, some of us will never be like that. It's just a fact. But the thing is, though, that we've been playing as fantasy characters because we want to be the hero. We want to be the big, tough, just walk along God of War Kratos style. Smack, smack, smack. Right? So, we're not sitting there going, well, you know what? I think we need to have some realistic standards here. We need to, have some dad bods, main characters, and I guess you can kind of get away with that. Like they've kind of done that with GTA. They did that with like Michael and stuff, and Trevor a bit. Like they kind of went, no, we're just. But GTA kind of, that's part of it too, because like GTA is very good at taking sort of like these weirdo characters or like a generic character and making them special. But on average, like when you're playing a high fantasy game, like say a Mortal Kombat or a Street Fighter or whatever, like fighting. Tekken or whatever, then like it's sort of like, well, how do we get people want to play the game? We want the dudes to choose kick-ass characters and also perv on the ladies, and of course vice versa. They don't understand that the women can also enjoy it too. The women want to play as sexy characters and also perv on the dudes. So it's sort of weird that they'll sit there and go, well, we're going to cover up all the women and make them look like they come from the Middle East. It's like, hang on a sec. Well, what about the women that want to play as sexy characters? Don't they have a choice now? Aren't you oppressing women?
Oh, Duff, I love that. I love that. It is funny you say that because the thing that boggles me so much is because the music industry is so big on female sex appeal.
Yeah.
You know, Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, all flaunt their bodies, talking about having sex all the time, and they love it. They always talk about, what do they say on Twitter? They gagged them or something like that, or they ate whatever their terminology is.
Oh my god.
They love those female rappers, but yet they don't want it to be for any female video game characters. So no Laura Croft, like Laura Croft, you know, is going to be busty and hot, but they want her to look dressed down, whatever. And then same for the Mortal Kombat girls is like you want them all to look quote unquote realistic, but yet this is the most unrealistic they have ever looked.
Yeah. There's a funny picture actually. There's a picture of like Ed Boon with a katana cosplayer, right? And he's got like this big grin. You know, I think it's like a katana from MK9 cosplayer. That's how she's dressed. And then the picture below is him with Sonic Fox, and he looks chronically depressed. Like,
I think because Sonic, I think he's what are they furry? That's what they call it, right? Furries.
Oh, yeah, furries.
Yeah, so I think he appeals to that community. But I get what you're saying. Like I said, it's sad that from 2011, because honestly, I feel like what year was it when this shift changed between this whole SJW, woman bad?
Probably 2016 onwards. So I see a lot of people reference 2016. That's why I'm wondering, like when the Tumblr collapse happened, if that was when it happened.
I had to be.
You know, because that was such a. I'll see if I can Google it actually, because yeah, that was pretty big. Oh, was it 2018? Oh, okay, 2018. Yeah, 2018. So, yeah. So it's been what's that? Almost 6 years. Jeez, it feels longer than that. What a nightmare.
A freaking nightmare. What is this Twilight Zone we live in? And everything has to be woke now. Like I just feels like they make games for the wrong kind of people. They make games for people that don't even want to play the game.
Yeah.
They don't realize that Twitter is not your whole consumers.
Yeah.
Your whole consumers got normal lives. So once they stop trying to panderize to people, adding in these woke endings for people, like the whole Jax Mortal Kombat 11 ending, which I still cringe about, and then stop trying to make these girls be, I guess, dressed up from head to toe, because God forbid a girl show skin, even though she's fighting to the death. When you kind of like, you don't want to get grabbed on. And then just also, it's not even just the girls too. It's just like everything that's going wrong with gaming in general. It's just all this stuff making, just want to be woke, I guess, quote unquote woke, to add in things. And it's actually funny we're talking about this because the latest Saints Row, if you're not aware, honestly wanted to go woke and they went broke. So this is the route Mortal Kombat is sadly going to go on, because they're going woke and they're going broke. And not just that, their whole development of Mortal Kombat 1 was just horrible. Like, I know people will get mad when I say this, but Mortal Kombat 1 promotion or whatever hype season was horrible. Hardly advertised it. Didn't even know much about the game until literally like last month. And then they false advertised. We didn't even get 24 characters. We got 23 characters. The user interface looks cheaply made. The character designs just look boring. The story mode, I mean, don't get me wrong, the story mode for the most part was good until the ending. Then it was like, okay, they just jumped the shark. And then it's like the invasion mode is just boring. Yeah. Like, it's an unfinished product. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I've already uninstalled Mortal Kombat 1. I think I only played it for maybe that week it came out. And then after that, I just got rid of it and made room to play some other games. Yeah. Now, just before we continue, I just put on the screen, I just shared it. There's a game that you can get on Steam right now called Fight Angel Special Edition. It's all chicks, right? Ooh.
right? There's a realistic and an anime style look, so you can change their face from having an anime style to a more sort of like Dead or Alive-esque type face.
Okay.
And you can, through I think a forum post, you can access a certain download which allows a certain unveiling of certain things when you go into the editor, because you can fully create your character from the ground up. Everything from nipple size to removing the, the forestry areas and stuff down below. It is amazing, right?
Man, I wish I had Steam because I don't have a PC. I'm more strictly of I have a PlayStation. So my brother, he's more into the stream and stuff, like not Steam, my bad. He's more into like PC Steam.
Yep.
But I know he likes Hot Woman as well. So I'm like, you know what? Definitely download this game so that way I can see what like. I'm actually looking up right now after this podcast. I'm gonna look up to myself and see it because, like I said, anything about me, like my parents, like I said, ever since I was a kid, I've always just been. I mean, I want to say woman crazy, but like I said, I like seeing attractive women do crazy things. Like, there's nothing more hotter than a sexy woman doing some badass things.
Yeah.
I don't want to see, like I said, I don't want to see a girl who calls herself bro, or I don't want to see a girl who I could go to Walmart and see. Like, no, give me a hot Edenian chick.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Did you so you obviously played MK9 then?
Of course.
Yeah. So there's one thing that's actually missing from MK9 that has not showed up in any NRS game since. Do you know what it is?
That's been missing since MK9?
Yeah. It's a little feature that happens, but we haven't had it since. It's really strange. Actually, it's not really strange. It's actually quite explainable, but can you guess what it is? Do you have any idea?
Does this have to do with anything gameplay wise?
Yeah. Yep. Everything to do with like how the character is in combat.
Oh, the jiggle physics?
Probably that too, actually. I haven't. That's true. So Dusty says it. He's 100% correct in the chat. Battle damage.
Oh, see, that was my second guess. Battle damage. Yes, let's talk about that because battle damage does not even appear. They have some of the most gruesome fatalities now, but yet the characters don't have any bruises. Don't have many cuts, and if they do, it has like a little bit of blood splatter on them. Yeah. But the 3D era got that, and also MK9 too. Yeah. They went above and beyond when it came to battle damage. Yep. You have Sonya, beautiful face, full of kicked on makeup, leaving a fight with black eye, busted lip. You see some of her skeleton or her bone revealed. Yep. Like, that's badass. And then MKX, it was just, you just see sweat and a little bit of blood on her. Yeah. What is that? Yeah. It actually, the sweat kind of looked a bit strange, actually, because, like, there was so much of it, it would beat up. It almost looked like, they had, like goosebumps or something, but, like, in a sweat form. It was really weird. Really weird. But the reason, like, because if you check out the character models for MK9 for battle damage, obviously the chicks will start to show some underboob. Right? Oh, yeah. Because obviously there's, like damaging and stuff. So they probably, it's so weird. How did we get MK9 as the first NRS game? And then something changed after that. And it was like this massive shift, like tonal and visual and sort of like philosophical shift from MK9, which was one of their biggest and still their most beloved games of all NRS games, to basically going, yeah, everything that made Mortal Kombat great, we're not doing it anymore. I don't understand, like, what happened? They sold themselves out. And I think that's what the internet, like, sadly, the internet could really affect something because they're going based off of what, Tumblr or Twitter, on my bad, X. Yeah. They go off of what they say. So if they offend anybody on X, they think they're going to lose their money, even though that is 100% not going to happen. Because I guarantee you, most people normal people, let's say normal people, they don't live on Twitter. Twitter isn't their whole personality. If they disagree with something, sure, but I'm pretty sure they're still gonna play the game. Like, it's a freaking fighting game, but we're fighting to the death. First of all, a lot of kids play the game anyway. Like, I was a kid, you know, from Lily. I was born playing Mortal Kombat. So, like I said, I grew up with it. And then, like I said, there's kids playing Mortal Kombat. And I'm pretty sure a little kid does not care about if a character is in love with another character of the same sex. I think little kids don't care about that crap. And then also, the shift between MK9 and MKX is like, it's just so weird because this was before 2016 or 2017. So it already kind of started doing a little woke thing by making characters just like, it's just like I said, I get what you're saying. It felt like it definitely a change. And then that battle damage, they took that away. And then they just took away so much. Like, they don't have that many stage fatalities. Like, only maybe 1 or 2, 3 stage fatalities in that game compared to MK9 stage fatalities.
We don't have any in MK1. We
don't.
Nothing.
Because all the stages are so beautiful. The stages are so graceful and beautiful. Like how, you know, how everyone says. And don't get me wrong, the stages are nice, but it's not Mortal Kombat. These are stages that'll be in another fighting game like Street Fighter or something, or Tekken. Yeah. When I think of Mortal Kombat stages, I think of something like, I think of an arena that you'll be scared to fight in. Like every time you look over your shoulder, you think you're about to get stabbed somewhere. Yeah, that's what I think of a Mortal Kombat.
The thing is, like, the 3D era, you know, like those what do they call them? The death traps.
Death trap.
Yeah, like that was amazing. You either had transition stages which were highlighted with like the yellow glow, or if there was a death trap, it would be red. And it actually, for the very first time, I think, in a Mortal Kombat game, the stage became a character. You know, like it was like remember that stage that came in Deception? The top of the pillar. You're fighting on top of the pillar.
Temple.
And then, and it would eventually start collapsing, and the arena would get smaller and smaller and
smaller.
My bad,
that's Pawn plus the Sky Temple.
Yeah. Oh, no. That's awesome, too. Jeez, that was so good. Yeah, no, that like that rock thing that you fight on, and it keeps like, you know, shaking, and then more of it falls out. Like you could bring, I've talked about it before, you could easily bring death traps back in a 2D style. You just you take the interactions that you had in those previous games and you make it so that, okay, so imagine there's like a wall there, and behind that wall is like, I don't know, like a big pit that they can fall down. So when you get near that part, you can grab them and smash them into it. And in the first hit, right, it only like breaks it, like, but you can see through it. And then if you can get them on the second hit, then it throws them through it, right? So there's a little bit of a restriction there, so it's not super instant, but it's enough. So that way, you know, you can try and like push people towards, you know, that particular, you know, part of the stage to try and kill them. It'd be very easy, but it's, I don't know what's happened. It's almost, I don't know. I don't know what's really going on. Like, there's a comment I want to read out to you because I want to know what you think. Dusty goes, you think Ed agrees with the more woke approach to the female designs? I just don't get how we went from MK9 peak of Mortal Kombat to now these middle-aged looking women with box-shaped bodies.
I love that comment.
Yeah, so a lot of people do defend Ed, and they go, oh, none of this stuff is Ed's fault. It's all Warner Brothers. But Ed's the face, bro. Right? He's the creative director. Like, you can't tell me he has absolutely no say at all. Not even a little bit. Like, come on. You know?
And I was thinking that too, because I was literally thinking that the other day. I was like, man, I'd be going in on Ed and arrest all the time.
Yeah.
But, like, what if it's that, you know, WB is, you're having some sort of weight on them? But then somebody in my comments, they said, that's not, you know, absolutely true. That's not true, because Ed, like you just said, he's still the creator of this. This is still his project. There's no way someone else could tell him no.
Yeah.
So I feel like Ed, in a way, did kind of sell himself out, especially with that comment when he said that he wants the girls to be more mature looking, and that that you're not going to wear a bikini to a fight. I felt like that was Ed himself saying that, not WB. Like, I feel like that's just him.
There's this weird trend. I don't know if you've noticed this. You get David Jaffe, who created Kratos from God of War. You got, what's his name? The dude that did Gears of War, right? The guy that created Gears of War, whatever his name is, right? I've noticed this trend that these creators that made these really alpha type characters, you know, that like Marcus from Gears of War and Kratos from God of War and stuff, you know, I've noticed that now they are like the most soy infused people. Like, it's really bizarre. I don't know if it's an age thing, because some of them aren't that much older than me. I don't know if it's an age thing. I've known friends of mine who, like, because I've got a son and a daughter, and I've noticed that some fathers, when they have daughters, become these raging feminists. Like, it's fucking weird, man. Like, it's so strange. It's like, no, they want you to be a dad, not a second mum. Like, you know, get your balls back out of your wife's purse and reattach them, please. Like, it's really weird. And I don't know if Ed's gone through that sort of. I don't know if that's happened to him or not. It's so bizarre. You know.
I think honestly with that, I feel like it's an industry thing. I feel like he's trying to get with the times, because I feel like he's with this high marketing company and he's trying to have Mortal Kombat expand. I think that's what he's trying to do. He wants Mortal Kombat to reach all audiences. So in that case, he's like, okay, well, we already got our diehard Mortal Kombat fans. Let's see if we could get some more people. So how about we try to branch out to a community who probably doesn't even want to play the game, but hey, it won't hurt to try. So I think he goes for the Puritans, you know, the SJWs, the pure people who believe that woman or bad woman, sexy woman equals hell. So that's who he tries to branch out to, and I think that's hurting them in the long run, because it's alienating like longtime fans like myself, because, you know, when I think of Mortal Kombat, I think of blood, gore, pushing boundaries, stuff like it's supposed to be the fighting game that, you know, your parents don't want you touching. Yeah. Now I see people talking about Mortal Kombat's more family friendly. I'm like, hold on, question mark. Family friendly and Mortal Kombat don't go together. Yeah, which part? Why on earth? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, which part? Which part's the family friendly part?
That's what I'm saying. I saw a comment on Twitter. Somebody literally said, I actually like the fact that the girls are more covered up because now it's more family friendly and I can play with my kids. I'm like, so you mean though ripping people to shreds, stabbing them in their eyes, having them eat each other isn't that's family friendly towards you? But the moment somebody shows some skin, which may remind you, I mean, if you go to a beach, I'm pretty sure you're gonna see something similar. That's the most unfamily friendly thing to you?
Yeah, well, see, yeah, that's the thing. Like McCypher said in the chat, he goes, female MMA fighters are showing some skin. And that's the truth. Like, that's the thing. Like, you know, they talk about realism. Oh, you're not going to show up to a fight, you know, in a bikini. Okay, they're not showing up to a fight in a bikini. But, like, MMA fighters are basically wearing a sports top and, like, you know, the tiny little shorts. Because you don't... And male fighters, you know, wear like loose shorts and stuff too, because you don't want anything, like, you know, because I used to teach Taekwondo, right? So we didn't have like skin tight, full body gi, you know, like it's still loose and it needs to be loose, so that way you can still, you know, do proper full leg extensions for kicks and punches and all sorts of stuff. Like it's so like they don't get it. You know, like they're trying to. We want realism, but it's not. You know, what you're doing is you're kowtowing to a group of people that probably won't even buy your game, but just because they're loud, you think that everyone else thinks the same, and it's so. This is like, it's so weird because like the Christians used to be like this back in the 80s and the 90s. They'd be like, oh, you go to hell, you know, if you play this game or watch Harry Potter. It's so weird. And now, it's complete swap. It's the weirdos. It's these degenerates that are like sitting there trying to act all Puritan at the same time.
Pronoun monsters.
at the same time, hoping that you don't see their own personal Twitter feed, you know, and all the horrific shit that you find over on their, you know, on their page. So it's weird, but like, so yeah, because you're talking about like expansion and like trying to find other people, but I think that if you keep something pure, then people will like it's so weird because it's not like MK is like this brand new fighting game and they're trying to reach a wider audience. It already has the audience. It's just that, you know, like, you know, like, what do they expect? Like, kids are going to school, like high school, or dudes are going, oh, so what? Have you played the new Mortal Kombat, Frederick? It's so wonderful because all the women are covered up and, you know, there might be a bisexual relationship in there. Shut the fuck up. No, dude, in the 90s, we were going to school going, dude, you should see the tits on Katana. Woo! You know, like, I want that shit. I'm going to motorboat. I'm going to fucking yacht boat that shit. That's what I want. You know, like, you know what I mean? You know, like, you know, who are they? Who do they think is this massive audience that they're just waiting? Oh, it's like, oh, but if we just do this, we're gonna get a whole other million people. No, like, when you keep the product pure, right? It's one of my favorite movies is American Gangster with Denzel Washington. And
that's my favorite movie.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The extended one too is just bellissimo, right? Brilliant. And the reason, and it's based on a true story, which is crazy. But the reason why Frank was successful was because the product that they were putting out was pure. Like, you know, it was the purest they were putting out. So it was putting all the other crap to shame and going, no, not only, you know, yeah, we've got this product, but it's pure. You know, it's the most authentic experience you can have, even though it's terrible. It's drugs, and never do drugs is bad. Right, whatever. Just putting that out there, right? That was the philosophy. So if you've got Mortal Kombat, you know, Mortal Kombat's the medal of fighting games. You know, as you said, the one that your parents don't want you to play, the one they thought, you know, the game that literally changed the rating system in America to accommodate for, you know, the violence that they had, which then paved the way naturally to obviously being able to have other games come out like God of War and all sorts of stuff. But if you keep it pure, that's what will attract people to it. The problem is, though, is that we live in a society now where people come into your fandom and go, yeah, I don't like this, so we're going to change it. And it's like, but you fell in love with it for what it is. If you change it, it's not going to be that anymore, right?
Agree. And that's why I just don't feel connected with the series anymore. Like, that's what I think I said on Twitter, I'm a Mortal Kombat fan, not NRS fan.
Yeah.
I like Mortal Kombat, but I don't appreciate the stuff that goes on with NRS.
Yeah.
And I meant to ask you, we're talking about how, you know, the whole shift changed with everything that's going on with pretty much Mortal Kombat is no longer this. There's not the metal of fighting games no more because it wants to be pure. When I think there was a woman, I'm like drawing a blank, but I'm definitely thinking of her. It was this woman. She didn't even really play games, but she kind of
Anita Sarkeesian.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm glad you knew who I was talking about. I think she's pretty much the main reason why a lot of stuff goes on in video games nowadays, because she was like, why do all these women are put in these like damsel stress modes, or they used to be looking like objects, or we're objectifying women, but it's the opposite. When all those women that saying that she objectified were all strong women, they were badass. Like, you know, when I look at Samus, I think of a badass woman who just happens to be sexy. When I think of Lara Croft, badass and she's sexy. Yeah. Like, you know, all these badass women were sexy, but yet now it's like they can't be sexy. Like, they all have to be covered from head to toe. And then the gore is like, we have all the gore, and it's not just a Mortal Kombat thing. God of War 2, God of War, like you said, Kratos was going around literally having sex with women, sex mini games,
Yeah,
I mean, you don't get that in new God of War. You get him, and you get a father and son bonding pretty much experience throughout the God of War and God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And then like I said, and I'm scared now with GTA 6 because with how the way the climate is, I don't even know if GTA 6 is even going to be GTA. It's going to probably be like maybe, of course, the extreme missions, but we're not going to have, probably as much cursing. We're probably not going to have as much, funny characters. Like, we will never see a character like Trevor. We're probably not going to get strip clubs. Like, we're probably going to get so much taken out of GTA 6 just because of what goes on nowadays. And I'm praying to God Rockstar doesn't bend over for these people, because the moment they bend over, that's when you lose.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they'll probably be like gender reassignment missions. Right.
Or probably a male strip club.
They'll be like, partake in the Pride Parade, or some horse shit. I don't know. Like, this is the thing. Like, look what happened to Saints Row. Saints Row literally was a game where you could run around and beat the crap out of people with giant dildos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just like, because obviously, like, when the very first Saints Row game came out, yeah, it was a copy of GTA. But then over time, they're like, you know what? Let's lean into the absolute silliness, and that's what made people loving it, because it was like GTA in the way that you could play it, but it was just batshit crazy, like batshit crazy, and people loved it. And then they decided to go like they did with the new Watch Dogs. What was it, Watch Dogs Legion or something? They suddenly go, we've got to we've got to give people a message. We got to tell them our story or whatever shit, and then change this and change that. And then Saints Row not only tanked, but the whole company collapsed. And then on X, like, you get all these developers and stuff going, it's so sad. It's so sad. What's sad? How hard was it to literally put out the same shit just with a different coat of paint? Like we don't want fucking Shawshank Redemption in Saints Row. I want to chase someone down the street with a giant fucking flashlight and beat the crap out of them. Right? Like, that's what I want in a Saints Row game. I don't need, we've got to fight oppression and, the patriarch and whatever crap they came up with. Like, we don't need that, man. It's the same with Mortal Kombat. And that's why they're going broke. We're literally...
like I said,
MK11... Yeah, MK11, like developers, some of the developers were getting PTSD from some of the research they were doing into cadavers and stuff, and how to dismember people and get all the details and stuff, And it's like, you don't get a peep out of Ed Boon for that. You don't have him come out and say, yeah, look, we didn't encourage this or anything, but we feel like this is terrible. Like, they didn't have to go to these extremes. Like, and they are extreme. Like, I don't mind fatalities, but I've gone off them a lot since MK9, because they started going down this, now we need to see the brain cut in half. Now we need to see the eyeball being pulled out at high speed. And, and it's like, look, for me anyway, like, I don't need that. It's enough tearing someone's head off, or punching a hole in their chest, or ripping their leg off and beating the crap out of them. Kind of, where is that line that they used to nail perfectly between humor and, like, oh my god, like, that's what a fatality was. Like, Quan Chi would tear your leg off and beat the shit out of you with it. So on one hand, you're like, oh my god, that would hurt like fuck, like, that would be awful. And then he just beats the crap out of you. And it's like, so then you laugh. Like, there's kind of like that, when you watch a movie or whatever, like, something's shocking, but it also makes you laugh because it's like, oh my god. When somebody falls over, you first laugh at them, because they fell over funny. It's not because you're mean or anything. It's just kind of like this weird human instinct that you get. So that's kind of how it was with fatalities for me. It was like, oh, like, but now it's so, like, they've got to go into this ridiculous detail. It's like, why?
Fatalities just aren't stylish no more, and that's like, so like, they care so much about being nasty And at first I thought Mortal Kombat 1, I didn't think they were going to be as gory because, when the beta came out, the fatalities seemed a little more tamer. But then now you get the full game, they're even more nasty than before. So I'm like, okay, you guys are spending all your resources on trying to make the fatalities nasty. How about you guys try to actually make it seem more in with character? Like, there's a reason why the other fatalities, these newer fatalities aren't going to be memorable because you got someone, okay, let's say, for example, Scorpion cutting somebody's head off with a sword, then cutting into a million pieces, then setting on fire. It's like, you're doing too much.
Yeah.
Like, it's badass when he just lit you on fire with his skull. Like, okay, it got to the point and it was stylish. Baraka used his blades to kill you, whatever, and that was it. Yeah. When they just made the fatalities simple to the point, those are the ones that were just more iconic. Yeah. And then when you're doing all this weird stuff, like, okay, they ripped this arm, now they're ripping your heart out, now they're ripping your teeth out, now they, like, all this stuff just to kill you, it loses the cool factor. It just becomes more like, okay, like, it was cool the first time, but now it's like, I'm tired of seeing it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it takes forever. It's like the fatal blows. They just, like they take forever. I think they're a little bit faster now. I think the fatalities and the fatal blows are a little bit quicker now, but they still take a while, and that's the problem too, because, like, I don't know, like, I've been thinking about this the other day because I don't know if I'm correct or not, because obviously when you play Street Fighter or say Tekken 7 or in the beta with 8, you can do essentially super moves that, they sort of like, they do a big wind up and then they hit you and do multiple hits and stuff. But it's so weird because it never gets boring. That's the weird part. Like, it's not boring. And I'm wondering if it's because... Oh, sorry, go on. Yeah.
Oh, no, my bad. Hold on. Let me get my dog. My dog's like bothering me. Hold on. Oh. Get him out of here. Okay, my apologies. But I think with those games, it still maintains the pace of the fight, because Mortal Kombat slows it down, and I think that's why people don't like that. When you do a fatal blow, the match just slows down and just loses the speed of it. Yeah. With Tekken, and don't get me wrong, I'll just be honest with you, I'm not really a big fan of super moves anyway. I think when fighting games, when they start want to copy off of other fighting games, that's when kind of annoys me a little bit, because Tekken and Mortal Kombat, they didn't start off with super moves. I'm like, they had special moves, but not super moves. Yeah. So now they have these whole cinematics. Stops the match, do a little cool cinematic scene that I'll like to maybe see for the first 2 times, and after it just becomes more of a chore. So with Tekken, in a sense, I didn't get to play Tekken 8 yet. I can't wait to play it though. I can't really speak on that, but Tekken 7 though, I did notice when they do their supers, it's like the fight does get back quicker than it is to Mortal Kombat, when after they do their fatal blow, crushing blow, whatever, it feels just like it resets itself. Yeah. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was thinking, like, because the MK9 X-rays, because what was Scorpion's one? Scorpion's MK9 X-ray, he does the teleport punch, so he hits you with that. And then, does he headbutt you? Does he headbutt you?
So he actually, if I remember, I think Scorpion MK9, he punches your skull and he makes you fall down, and then he
stands on your chest. Yeah. Now that's really fast. Like, it's really quick. Like Sub-Zero's, he kind of like, he slides in, he hits you, and then it's like grabs like your was it like your stomach or whatever, or your liver, and like freezes it and then crushes it, and, they were really fast. And then MK10 they started getting like longer and longer and longer, and on paper they go, oh, this is gonna look really cool, blah blah blah, but then like they don't understand that it slows, like it slows everything down, which is like,
definitely.
And the other thing too is the enhanced moves. Like, enhanced moves in MK9 almost felt like a whole other set of special moves. So Scorpion would throw 2 harpoons, stuff like that. But ever since like MK10 onwards, it kind of felt like, oh, they're just a little bit more powerful, I remember like Reptile's Force Ball. You can make this giant ass Force Ball and hold it in MK9 as an enhanced version, which was crazy. You know, you just sit there and hold it and go. You know, so it's sort of they've. I think they're starting to love their whole cinematic. Oh, we're really good with cinematics and storytelling, and it's like, how can we put that in a game? And it's like, and then we started getting the intros where they talk. But like every single fighting game generally has like characters that come out and say something, and that's it. But then NetherRealm's like, oh, we need to have them have like this little conversation, you know. And it's like, yeah, but like, then I think to myself, well, how many resources are wasted on that? You know, like how much resources are wasted? How much money that could have been spent on creating more characters that you've made on stupid interactions with each other? Like, who gives a shit? Like, really? Like, I don't mind they come out and say something like they did in MK9. MK9, they come out like, was it Kung Lao come out and go like, for the Shaolin, you know, and and that's great. You know, give them a couple of lines that they can say, whatever, fine. But I don't need to have a conversation before I kill them. You know what I mean? It's not a fucking anime. You know, like, you know what I mean?
It's funny because now all fighting games have their characters interacting. Because I saw Tekken 8 now, they have the characters having interactions with each other. And then all these other fighting games, like I said, like when a fighting game does something, especially from one of the big three, they add it to the other fighting games. Yeah. So when Street Fighter did the supers, all the other fighting games started taking that. Yeah. Mortal Kombat did the cinematic story modes and the intros. Now every other fighting game has to do with cinematic story mode. Yeah. And then a lot of people with Dead or Alive, the thing that bothers me that I love Dead or Alive. I'm a big Dead or Alive fan. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you know what Dead or Alive is.
Oh yeah.
But I love Dead or Alive, and I hate the stigma that people think about it because I'll make a post, you know, saying something about, you know, Mortal Kombat, you know, regarding ladies. Oh, well, you like Dead or Alive, you know, the girls like dolls. Okay, who cares? But that's not what Dead or Alive's core thing is. Dead or Alive has some of the most addicting gameplay ever. Like, Dead or Alive 4 is still my favorite Dead or Alive. I love that game with passion. And
do they still have the explosive floor in 4?
In 4, oh, definitely. Okay. Dead or Alive 4, they have those. They still have the explosive floors. They still have like the walls. Yeah. I would say they have probably the best stages next to like Dead or Alive 2 Ultimate. Yeah. And like I said, if you have like an Xbox or anything like that, you should definitely check it out because I think they do got the games on backwards compatible. Yeah. So it's definitely something to look into because I love Dead or Alive franchise. But where I was going with this though, didn't mean to get off topic, but I was saying that with Dead or Alive, you know, they did this multiple stage transitions and all that. Then every other fighting game wants to start doing their stage transitions. Yeah. So it's just when one fighting game does it, every other fighting game has to follow. And the thing that bothers me with Mortal Kombat is they took too much from Injustice, and now it doesn't even feel like Mortal Kombat no more. Yeah. It just feels like Injustice Mortal Kombat characters. Yeah,
yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's sort of like I know like people trying to debunk the whole thing that they were working on Injustice 3, and somebody's like, oh, they recorded Johnny Cage's voice, you know, like in the period of COVID or something. So they were definitely working on MK1, you know, and not Injustice 3. I don't buy that shit. You know?
I don't buy it. I mean, I guess
they could have literally got him and go, well, we're going to be making a future Mortal Kombat game after this one. Can we record your stuff now, stick it on a thumb drive somewhere or whatever, and then, you know, use it for the game when it comes out, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean that, oh, no, it was MK1 was definitely being worked on. So...
Definitely. And I've always felt like, especially because even if it was Injustice 3, they still had the normal 2 years development time like any other Mortal Kombat game gets. Yeah. So there's still no excuse to why we got this rushed product. That's what I'm saying. We got 4 years, and if I guess, you know, people want to say, well, they work on Injustice 3 first, okay, I'll give them whatever that grace. They still had an extra 2 years, though, and they still couldn't get it right. So, like, what is going on with this game? Because, like I said, they don't want to address it. Like, if you want to communicate with the fans, how about you let them know what's going on? Because the community manager is horrible, doesn't even talk to us. And then, literally, Ed is just like, okay, Ed, like, you want to, you know, promote it on the Sphere in Las Vegas. You want all these content creators flying them out to come see the studio. but yet you can't even tell us if there's even going to be 24 characters, which there wasn't in the game. So I already knew Mortal Kombat 1 was shady. The moment I saw the lack of advertisement and I saw that, they weren't showing much, that's when it told me, I was like, okay, something's up. Because for Mortal Kombat 11, they advertised the hell out of it. They had the beer,
the whole
they had
time.
the Mortal Kombat beers. They had so much going for Mortal Kombat. They had a whole community event. Then you get Mortal Kombat 1. They released a trailer on a random day. Like, I don't even know what I was doing that day. I just saw the trailer. And then, literally, 4 months, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, 4 months, I guess, is cool because you get the game sooner, but also was like, it doesn't build too much hype, really. Because when MKX, even though it was a longer time until the game came out, I was still a hype because I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait for the next character reveal. Like, who's this? Who's this? And then they start showing like the story mode, the different modes, and they did all that before the last month.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 1 does all that the month of, and we still missed out on content. So, like I said, that's just my squill.
We had achievement. We had the Titan Battle achievement before we got Titan Battles. That's hilarious. Like, they literally had achievements that we couldn't even access because they hadn't even released the content for it. And then the content just comes out of nowhere. Oh yeah, it's Titan Battles now. It's like, oh, okay. Thanks for that. Like, you know what I mean? And then it ends up being, well, somebody said it's just something from like, what, MK10? Just a big ass armored boss, which it is, right? And then, like, it's, like, I don't understand. Like, it's, as you said, like, they worked on it for 4 years. Well, we got Street Fighter 6. How long they work on that? It wouldn't have been, it may or may not have been the same amount of time. We're just about to get Tekken 8 in January, and so far they've had 2 betas on every platform that, like, for Tekken 8. Right? There was a beta I think there was a closed beta and then an open beta, I think, for Street Fighter 6. And all of them were crossplay. Right? So, like, we don't even have crossplay, in MK1. And it just, I don't know, it's so weird. I don't know, like, I don't know what's going on. I get this I get this bad feeling that I think Ed's done with MK. Like, he used to be so excited about this stuff. Like, he'd be so excited about MK and talking about all this stuff. And did you see the new meme that went around? It's like, oh, we've got this really cool way to unlock everything because we don't have the crypt anymore. And then it was like the picture of, money. Yeah, just pay for it, Like, I don't know what's going on. But the problem is, though, like, people get very defensive of Ed Boon, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, he is the face of Mortal Kombat. So therefore, a lot of ire is going to end up in his direction because he is the face of Mortal Kombat. Oh, it's Warner Brothers doing it. I don't give a shit. Right? I can't talk to a corporation, but I can talk to the person that's going to sit there and fucking do troll tweets all the time and think he's cool to Zoomers, yet can't address pumping out like a $12, $15 fatality, or addressing like the massive amounts of stuff that were missing, even that MK11 had. Like, oh, but I'll troll tweet. Yeah, thanks for that. What are you, fucking almost 60? Just seriously, like, people have paid for this product. Can you at least come out and say, you know what? We're very sorry that we've released this game in the state that it is, but we're going to do everything we can to fix it. Look what happened to No Man's Sky. That's the perfect example. I was just about to
say that. Yeah. I was really thinking No Man's Sky with this.
Yeah. Perfect example of, Sony pushed the game out earlier than what it was supposed to be. All the grand visions that they had at the time of, oh yeah, you can play with everyone, go anywhere with anyone, all that sort of stuff. It was never there on launch. But you know what? They did it all. That's the hilarious part. Like, they knew they could do it, and they did it, and we got it all for free because they knew that if they even hinted at the idea of paying even for like $1 for something, the backlash would have been horrific, you know. So No Man's Sky, like, they read the room and went, you know what? Yeah, we have to do the right thing here. MK1, they made sure their premium shops were working, though, isn't it? You know, like, you got Africans. I see on Twitter, like, there's African people who are still struggling. You know, they may as well, like, email the fucking data to each other. You know, their fight is just like a slideshow. It's ridiculous. You know, you got the Switch version that looks like it was designed in preschool. It's just terrible. Like if you knew you couldn't put it on the platform, don't put it on there. Just say, look, sorry, it's not powerful enough. But
like a PS, I seen PSP games look better than that.
Yeah, I don't understand how, like, you know, like, there's just, and then your combat casts, you know, like the brothers Soy, they sit there with like the enthusiasm of a cold toilet seat in the middle of winter. They're just like, oh yeah, this is really cool. We got you awesome character. Don't forget to pre-order though. Don't forget to pre-order. They kept pushing that shit all the time. Don't forget to pre-order. Don't forget to pre-order. You know. And then they sit there and show off a character and like all these billions of combos. It's like, who's this game for? I don't give a shit about your combos. Like, just get excited. You know? You're supposed to be selling this product to people, not sitting there going, oh yeah, this is... I don't know.
They just feel so lifeless. I feel like something behind the scenes probably happened, and I feel like they don't want to say anything. But I feel like it's a sabotage. I feel like WB, I don't know, they're just planning on just, you know, washing their hands with Mortal Kombat or what. But I just feel like there was something more going on to why we got this Mortal Kombat game. Because, like I said, it just feels unfinished, rushed, feels like a beta more than anything. And it just feels like there was no love in this game. Like, every time, like I said, I will always go, and I know people probably get annoyed when I still praise the 3D era, but with the 3D era, you know they put love into that game. When Mortal Kombat 9, that felt like they spent their time. They had fun making a game. And that's what video games are supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun. Yeah. They, you know, the challenge tower. You know, you had tag team mode, the from cinematic story mode. You had the crypt. You had even online had a lot of features. You know, King of the Hill. You had the online rooms. You had, you know, on PS3 you had the avatars. Yeah. Like, they put so much love and care into that game. And now you compare it to Mortal Kombat 1, and it makes me so mad that I still see people sitting here and defending Mortal Kombat 1 like they made the games themselves, bragging about, oh, this is the best Mortal Kombat 1 game. You need to be more grateful. Don't play it then. You, like, oh, okay, first of all, I bought the game. I have every right. That's like going to a restaurant saying, okay, I bought this burger. I didn't like it, so I guess I just gotta sit there and don't ask for it to be returned because I have to be grateful for it. Yeah, be grateful.
Like, no. You just need to be grateful, bro. You just said be grateful that we're getting another MK game. Like what? We can't go back and play the previous ones.
Exactly. Matter of fact, I think a few weeks ago I popped the Mortal Kombat Armageddon because it's like Mortal Kombat 1 was just so boring. I was like, you know what? Why sit here and play this game when I have 63 characters I can play? Mortal Kombat, Conquest. Yeah. Like, there's so much. I can create a fighter, something that Mortal Kombat 1, not even any of the NRS games have. You can't even create a freaking fighter or not even customize a fighter, which I still think is stupid. It's like, I could play games for over 10 years ago, actually 15 years ago, and have more fun than the game that just came out now. And like I said, I'm being honest with you, I don't really care for online. Like, I'm not big on online. It's not a skill issue like everyone thinks it is, because as soon as you say you hate playing online, oh, you suck, you get wrecked online, blah, 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 whatever. But I just simply don't want to play online because you're just sitting here playing, okay, like you're playing someone from America, now you're playing someone from Japan. Yes, we get it, it's cool. But what else, though? Like, you want to be the best MK player, go to a tournament. Like, the online is sometimes choppy. And then you got people crying about getting bullied and stuff. People reporting, people making videos of people saying their slurs. I'm like, you guys are over here, you know, complaining and, you know, crying about me not going online. then you go online and videotape yourself getting quote unquote bullied.
Yeah.
So like, be real now.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's the thing. Like I I genuinely get mad actually playing MK1 online, and and like apart from obvious things, like I knew like there's an engine issue with the game that I don't like. It's a janky hitbox mess of an engine that came in with MK10 and Injustice 1. I hate it. It feels so different when you play MK9. Like when you play MK9, there's good follow through with moves. There's no sort of stickiness with move sets. Like in MK1, I've noticed this. Like if I try to jump away and they're crouching and they hit me, like it's like it keeps me in place. It's this it's like this weird sticky mechanic which I hate. And then of course on top of that they added the ability to do air combos and then cameos, which just like made it 1,000 times worse. Now going back to Armageddon where you had air combos, and you also had combo breakers, which is hilarious. So a game that's like however old now it is, right? You had combo breakers to break the combos, and then you also had air combos as well. So how was it that they were able to nail a perfect balance of both of those systems back on the PS2 and the original Xbox, but they can't do it now? And I think the only reason for that is because of the professional fighting games scene. Because, they listen to like... Because I've been thinking about this. Like, I like Maximilian, and I do. I think he's a cool dude. But I think... I don't know if you know this, but there was a hacked version that showed up in the arcade back in the day of Street Fighter 2 called Rainbow Edition. And what it was it was basically like this, like almost like a dream version. It's like, oh, what could you do if you took if you could take all the rules away? So you could sit there and just like do like multiple fireballs one after the other. E Honda was doing fireballs out of his 100-hand slap, and you could jump in the air and do fireballs, and they go different speeds depending on what heavy, punch you did. And you could press the start button, and you change characters in the fight. Like it was just crazy. You can actually download the ROM and play. It's great. And I often wonder if because Max is a massive fan of the Versus games like Marvel vs. Capcom and stuff, and he seems to be quite enamored with assist games. Like he seems to like those sorts of games, and I think he likes them because there's, as with those previous Versus games, and of course going all the way back to Rainbow Edition where you could just go nuts and do stupid stuff everywhere, that I think he likes that sort of like, yeah, let's go crazy and let's have everything that we can do. But for a guy that literally has built a channel on fighting games, how can he not sit there and go, okay, but we need to have counterbalance to this. We need to have tools in place that people have to defend themselves or get around stuff, because that's what a fight is, right? No two people fight the same, right? Some people are more aggressive, some people are more defensive, but either one can win, right? You can play the slow game, you can play the fast game, it doesn't matter. So, it's sort of, I think he's a big fan of these, and then with assists, or the cameos, it allows you to essentially like do a soft reset on your combos, which means that you can't, you can extend them. That's why he's saying, oh, they're taking the freedom away. Like all the other fighting game professionals, they're all saying the same thing. They're like friggin' parrots at the moment. Oh, you're just, this is a bad move. You're going to take away the freedom. And what freedom's that? Holding someone up in the air like a puppet for 50% of their health? How is that freedom? That's not freedom. That's crap.
I hate that. I've never been a fan of that.
And in a game that is so anorexic of content, where you don't have, like Invasions is boring. Like literally, you had the blueprint with the crypt in MK11. For God's sake, you literally had the blueprint. Just make every mesa in the same way that you interacted with the crypt in MK11, running around in third person, seeing it from the ground, and having all you could have like roving bands of bad guys just run into you and fight you, and you got to sit there and try and beat them off. Well, beat them off, that sounds really bad. Beat them up with whatever weapons you got. Like, it would have been nuts. It would have been crazy. Awesome, right? But they didn't. So MK1 is so devoid of content that the only thing left is the content in Combat League, right? So then Combat League becomes a hellhole because you've got the carrot on a stick. People are going to find the path of least resistance. That's why we got like a tiny handful of characters being used online, with even a tinier handful of characters for cameos being used online. And then they bring out a nerf because it's they're reading the forums and probably hearing from people saying, "Look, this is ridiculous." Where's the variety? Like, there's no variety. It's all crap. And then all the darlings of NRS and all the fighting game people, and what's his name, Ketchup and Mustard, and all these people, or whatever, Max and all that, start coming out going, "Oh, this is bad. You're taking away the freedoms." And it's like, no, what you're doing is that they're listening to the majority of people that bought your fucking game. The people that line your pocket, that keep you in business to keep making these games. It's not the people that go to tournaments. It's not them that are putting money in your pocket. It's the majority of the MK fans that love Mortal Kombat that are doing that. And they're listening.
Agree.
And they might be listening to them and going, "Yeah, this is not good." Because you don't have content. Now with the new Titan battles, it's starting to shape up to look like this will be the offset to Combat League. So if you don't want to get online and get these rewards this way, you can go into the pyramid, in the maces, in the invasion mode, and get the content that way. That's fine, whatever. Invasions is still boring shit. But at the very least, that means that for like yourself, people that love playing stuff offline as well, and I do too, it's just right now it's very boring. They've got options to be able to still get the content because not everyone can play online, so yeah, it's just, I don't know, man, it feels like we're missing about 25-35% of a game somewhere. Did they just forget to add it?
Way more than that. It just doesn't feel like I said, it just feels like a glorified beta. Like I said, just a little bit more pizzazz with it. Because like I said, the roster, and that's another thing that I feel like the pro scene has took so much from fighting games, because with fighting games back then, you look at Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Armageddon, the Soul Calibur, like a lot of those fighting games have big rosters, and I love a fighting game with a big roster because they weren't they didn't care so much about balance or what the pro players wanted. They cared about what people at parties cared for. When I have a party, my friends, I want to bring out the game that's going to have us playing all night, that has a big roster, try out different combinations. Yeah. Like, those are the games I love. I'm not a big fan of having a small cast of 20-some, like maybe 22, 23 characters to play with, and then because they want to balance them, and then I don't even like most of them. I only like maybe like 2 or 3 of them. Yeah. So I think that's just another casualty of the pro scene or the esports, whatever, that is taken from fighting games in general. Well, that's like I said,
yeah, go on. Yeah, sorry.
Fighting games. Oh no, you're good.
No,
I think fighting games aren't. I think it's just not gonna go back to what it was. I think during that generation, what generation was the PS2 and Xbox? Was 7? It was 6th or 7th generation. Yeah. 6. I think it was 6.
I think. Oh, hang on. I think it was 6th. Yeah. Yeah.
6th generation.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I felt like the 6th generation of gaming consoles had the best fighting games. I felt like that's when fighting games is like, you got the fighting game and you got a lot of additional content. Yeah. So you got the Dead or Alive franchise, Dead or Alive 3 and 4, Tekken 5, Tekken 4 or 5, Tekken Tag, Mortal Kombat 3 era, the Street Fighter, even with their what was it? I know they had their little 3D jump too. The EX games. Yeah. Is like, they came with so much. Now you jump to the current generation, and I mean, at least Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8, at least they picked it up, because Tekken 7 and Street Fighter 5 was a different story. Yeah. But Tekken 8 and Street Fighter 6 is what's going to bring back that fun factor of fighting games, bring it back to where we have so much to do offline. Yeah. And it makes me so mad that the one time that we finally got Mortal Kombat going against Street Fighter and Tekken in the same time frame, they freaking blow it. They freaking blew it.
Tekken 8, like, so I played in both betas, and the recent beta they added in the Tekken Lounge, right? Which is, you create your little avatar, which is pretty cool. And it feels like an old arcade. You got all arcade machines, you can sit down and all sorts of stuff. But, like, you look at it, I don't know, did you ever play PlayStation Home back on the PS3? Did you ever try that out?
I didn't try it out, but yeah. I know what it is though.
Yeah, so it seems like, and again with the fighting, the fighting hub, I think it is on Street Fighter 6. So, like, these Japanese developers, like, yeah, we love the arcades, but obviously real life arcades, it's going to be very difficult. So how do we bring that back and give it to, to people to experience what it could have been like? And I think Street Fighter 6 did pretty good, but I think I like Tekken 8 a lot more. And I think I like it more because Tekken 8, in the way it's done anyway, is very sort of social, but also there's a lot of room for expansion. With the way that they've laid out their Tekken Lounge. So you've got like the main sort of like fighting area, where all the arcade machines are. Then there's another area you can go to for practice, another area you can go to the shop and, outfit your character and stuff. So I think a lot of people are going to end up they're going to load up Tekken and they're just, they're going to meet people, and all sorts of stuff. They get to hold events in there as well, which would be pretty cool. I mean, you could have shit like Harada showing up, like that would be the kind of cool stuff. Like they do that in MMOs sometimes, where you might see like a GM, like a games master or something, or a dev show up, randomly just in the game on a particular server, and that's part of the cool factor of saying, oh my god, like the creators here, or somebody on the team's here, like that'd be pretty cool. But Tekken 8 beta, the recent one, literally launched with 4 less characters in its beta than MK9. Oh, sorry, MK1, sorry. Right, so we got 19 characters in the Tekken 8 beta. Just in the beta. Just, here you go, have some fun, right? And the thing I like about their ranking system, right, is that, because in MK1 and MK11, when you lose in ranked, it actually demotes you, like in terms of like, because there's a reward system, right? This is what I don't like as well, because there's a reward system. Say for example, you're aiming to the reward, right? And you lose. You don't just take the L, you actually get demoted back too. So then you're dragged further away from the thing you're trying to get, whether you're a completionist or whatever, right? And that's very aggravating. It's very aggravating gameplay for that, It's sort of like, it's almost like a, kind of like a Dark Souls light experience where, you die in Dark Souls, then you got to run all the way back and get all your shit. So in this instance, it's like, yeah, you lose, but then we're also going to take some points off you as well, And it gets worse though, because as you know now, you get some low level player who, these combos are so brainless, but they're also very difficult to defend against, especially if you're not good at them, because they're just horrific. They're all over the place. So then you get demoted massively. So if you're a high level and you fight a low level, but that low level beats you because they're using a broken system, you get massively demoted. So you're pulled further away from the rewards. I did a video, I checked. All these fighting games, there's no reward system except for the fact that, yes, if you win, you win. Right? In Tekken 8, it doesn't matter what character. If you choose, say, Jin, you get online and ranked, right? If you win, you'll go up a rank. If you lose, you stay there. You don't get taken back. Now, I think there might be chances of demotion, but there's no reward system though, right? So, therefore, and I have a feeling that when they demote you, it's because, and I've noticed this too with King of Fighters 15, I think it's because they're going, hang on a sec, maybe you're not as good. So we're gonna we're going to take you back a rank, you know, and see if you get settled again, and then, you know, see if you improve, right? Because the matchmaking, you should be match made to the same sort of like skill level that you are. So in Tekken 8, in ranked, or sorry, any mode, but especially in ranked, I was very impressed. If you choose Jin, he's got his own leveling up, sort of like you start off at like whatever, what is it, rookie or something, whatever, and you rank up first, second, third, dan, blah, 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 whatever. You know, if you swap a character to say Kazuya, it's got a brand new start for him. You know, so every single character shows you how far you've gone up on the ranking system. But it encourages you to choose any character because it doesn't say, well, you're a piece of shit, we're going to take some points off you, you're getting further away from that reward, and therefore people are going to go, oh, I need to win, I can only choose a Kazuya because he's the most broken character. No, you could use anyone, bro. You could use anyone, you know, get online, choose any character in any mode, it's all good, it's all fun. Even if you win or lose, I had a ball, man. I loved it. It was so much fun. When I get online in MK1, you know, because there's a goal system, because there's rewards, then yeah, people will always take the path of least resistance. And that is why people and these content creators, as you know them, put out all the combo videos and all that sort of stuff, because people are trying to essentially like brute force or grind through this stuff to get the rewards, because there's no other way to do it. You know, like, there's no other way to get them, at least at the moment. It's awful. Terrible game design.
Terrible game design. And I really rarely play MK1. I mean, I think also what really rubbed me the wrong way too was the player one advantage. I think that was like, you know, in the coffin for me. Because I'm like, okay, so this whole time it wasn't me having a skill issue. It was because it was obviously unfair for me going against another player. So after that, I was like, you know what, this game isn't finished. This game is too much combo. You know, combo's good, actual skill bad. And I know people are going to get their pitchforks because I'm saying this, but combos does not mean you're good at the game. It just means you got good memory.
Yeah.
But if you actually are good at the game, you'll know the fundamentals. You'll know what to do in an actual match, not just be the first to hit the combo. Because I think that's another reason why I wasn't a big fan of Marvel versus the Marvel vs. Capcom 3 game or anything like that, because it was more so of a, you know, hit them first, and as you can see, there's infinites. So what Mortal Kombat 1 does this is like, well, pretty much as soon as I get hit, I might as well just put the controller down. Like, I can't get back from it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and that, you know what, I think you nailed it, man. I think that's why a lot of these combo clowns love MK1. Well, maybe not so much now after the patch, but I think that's why they've loved it, because it's basically allowing them to just go, you know, full speed, no brakes, right? They don't. This is the thing that frustrates me. Like, you know, you've got to have balance. You've got to, if you want to foster a good, strong community, you've got to have balance. You know, you've got to make sure that people have tools to not only fight, but to defend themselves. When you learn martial arts, you don't just learn how to punch and kick. Some of the first stuff you learn is to how to block. You know, because 99% of the time, if not 100%, someone is going to attack you. So, you know, we're not all Bruce Lee where we can attack with, you know, we can block with an actual attack back, you know, like where you can step to the side and punch, you know, into their arm and stuff. We're all not Bruce Lee or Jet Li or, you know, Jackie Chan or whatever. So they teach you the basic fundamentals of how to protect yourself. And that's the same thing. That's the way I view fighting games. It's like, that's fine. Like, you want your combos? Great. Okay, cool. You know, there's a lot of, most fighting games have the ability to do massive combos, but that's the exception to the rule. MK1 made it the rule. And so all of these content creators are like, this is amazing. You know, but as soon as they patch the broken stuff, like Max is like, oh, they're punishing you for using your cameo twice. It's like, yes, dude, because it's broken. Right? They have no idea what they're doing with their game. And, you know, they are going to turn people off who want to jump in online and play people. And they get online, and as you said, just put your controller down. Go make a sandwich. That's not fun. That's not good gameplay.
It's not.
in Tekken 8, like you can lose a big chunk of your health. Like, don't get me wrong, like he can smack you around too, but it's so fast, and you've got the opportunity to come back. Right, that's the cool thing. Like Tekken 8 are like, right, in Tekken 7 they brought in the rage, like the rage art. So you get to a certain part of your health, and you can kind of do basically like a super move, you know, like Tekken's version of a super move, which is pretty cool. If you miss it, it's gone. That's it. It's gone for that round, right? I think is it gone for the round or gone for the whole fight? I have to check. And then in Tekken 8, they're like, okay, let's bring in the heat system. So you can activate it, and then it runs out pretty quick actually. But you can either do chip damage when it's active, which is something new to Tekken. So that kind of helps a little bit. So it forces you to go, yeah, I can be more aggressive. But once it's run out, like that's it for the round 2. But you both have that opportunity. You both have those systems in place to be able to utilize those tools against you. Against each other. In MK1, if you miss on one punch, that's it, man. You're on a plane ticket, up in the air. See you later. So.
Yep, you're done for. And that's, like I said, it's not fun. Like I said, I didn't pay this game just to watch someone do their combo exposition video. Like, I came to play a video game. And that's why I made that post regarding maximum damage. Because not the maximum damage we got in this game, since, you know, apparently it's in the game, since a certain content creator thinks so. But, like I said, I'm talking about where it will blow you back. In Mortal Kombat 4, even though I know Mortal Kombat 4 isn't really all that much of a popular Mortal Kombat game, it was still, they still did something good though, because like I said, so people don't keep going crazy with trying to do their 50, 60% combo damage. Once you hit I think you hit 40%, it knocks both you and the player back, so it resets itself. And that's what I was going for. But apparently something, you know, maximum damage, which you can only get in invasions mode, is in the game, Russ Poet. I think that it's not, like I said, it's not fair. It's not adding anything because, yeah, you like obviously stop the damage counter, but you still have the advantage because you're still, you're not knocked back. Your opponent's just, your opponent can try to recover. Yeah. And that's what I didn't care for. So until they implement a system where, okay, you know, you hit a certain amount of damage and not necessarily like if they don't want to do the knockback approach where players get knocked back, then maybe do it to where there's a little space between the characters. Like you remember in MK9 when the people tried to do like a well, for the most part, when certain characters try to do an infinite, and especially in a corner, it would knock that character and they'll make them like fly to the opposite side of the screen. You don't see that nowadays. You still see them locked in that corner. There's
a few little systems like I remember in classic MK games, if you uppercutted someone and their back was in the corner, the person doing the uppercut would actually like be pushed back. You know, like it was. They actually had some little systems in place across all the games that, you know, sort of made it a bit fair, so you couldn't just pin people in the corner. And that's the thing, like, you know, MK1's like it's so boring. It's actually more exciting playing the AI on very hard because the AI is actually fair. It's really strange, isn't it? Like that the AI is actually less broken than the people actually using the game. Usually the other way around. But yeah, like in and also in MK4, like, you know, you didn't have highs and lows except for a sweep. Again, this is where Ed Boon's like obsession with Tekken came in with the 3D era. That's when we started getting actual high and low attacks. You know, whereas, you know, if you stood block, you could block every attack against any combo in classic games. If they swept you though, yeah, sure, you fall on your ass. There were no overheads or anything like that. And then in the 3D era, they brought that in. And that was coincidentally, obviously, John Tobias wasn't part of it anymore. So then Deadly Alliance was basically like a Tekken clone. And then that's why Deception was such a huge hit. Because I think Deadly Alliance rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. With the, you know, toned down fatalities, you know, they got rid of leg sweeps and uppercuts, I think. At least for some of the characters. And then Deception came out and they're like, yeah, you can uppercut and sweep. It's like, yeah, should have been there the whole time. What are you talking? You know what I mean? What a wonderful addition. Thanks for adding back a moveset that was in every other MK game except one. So, and then of course we had really good fatalities. You had the harakiris. You had a brilliant, conquest to story mode.
I mean, Deception is just it's the ultimate Mortal Kombat game.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's my Mortal Kombat game. They just did so much with the game. They just did so much right. Like I said, like the roster was good. Like let's say they switched out the roster. That's another thing I do miss in older games is that the roster, they want to play it safe all the time. They want to keep putting the trilogy characters. Like I'm so tired. Like thankfully, Kano, Sonny, and Jack set this one out. But like we still see the same old like Johnny Cage, Kung Lao. Like yes, they're household names. Don't get me wrong, but how about you just start switching them out for other characters we haven't seen in a while? Yeah. And what I liked about Deception and Deadly Alliance is that one cast. Okay, you get the cast for this game, and then Deception only made only 5 of them returned from the last game, and the rest is all returning or new characters. So it felt fresh. Yeah. The stages were amazing. Like you said earlier, the stages had a character to it. Yeah. The Falling Cliffs, the Sky Temple, Yin Yang Island, the switching between a thunderstorm and daytime. Yeah. It's like you don't see that creativity no more. It's like they're so scared to be creative. And then Conquest mode was just chef's kiss that now literally their competition stole it from them. So it's like everything that they did for their games to make it stand out and to just, like I said, this adding in the sweeping and the uppercuts because they took the feedback from the last game. They don't take feedback no more unless you're a pro player. Yeah. And that's it. If you're not a pro player or a consecrator, they don't care what you're thinking.
Yeah, that's what I hate about it. Like, because for a little while there, what's the dude that paints his nails? Brisk Walk,
barbecue brisket.
Barbecue brisket, yeah. What stupid ass brusque power? I don't understand. Do you understand? What does that even mean?
I don't know, and I don't care because it's like he's just like I said, because I never want to be negative, like talk so down about someone, but the guy himself, like, it's already bad enough he's a shill. But also, I don't like the fact that he tries to gaslight people and try to make it seem like we don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, like I don't have hate in general, like for people. But like behaviors I'll call out, because the reason why I don't like shills is very simple. You're lying, or lying by omission, right? So you're not being honest. And then people are going to purchase something because you're sitting there going, this is the most wonderful thing I've ever played, blah, 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 and then, as you said, like, then they get, into gaslighting and stuff like that. They're like used car salesmen. They're just slimy in that regard. I understand that, that, I just would hate if I ever got to that size, and, I don't think I would personally. Maybe I think I'm just too old for that, and I didn't grow up with the internet, and needing likes and clicks and all that sort of thing that a lot of people seem to think is so important, which is probably why, like, either people like what I say or hate it, because, I come from a different era, I literally straddled the internet being created, which was pretty cool, so I don't care about my reputation, or anything like that. I just say what I say, and that's the end of it. But these guys, because they are young, and they built these massive careers on all this sort of stuff. Like if NetherRealm go, oh hey, we'll send you an invite. You can come over and see our office. I'm like, why? What for? Just take some pictures, send it an email. Like. I don't care. You know what you could do? I'll tell you what. How about this? How about you get people who would love to go, who are disadvantaged? How about you take them? I don't need to go. I don't need to go to the office in NetherRealm. Right? That's not a big deal for me. But it would be a big deal, man. And it would be a big deal for, for someone that, is struggling. Or something like that, or whatever. Like, there's someone I follow on X. They're like I think they're part of the fighting game. It's probably the only ones I actually really support. they're like the disabled fighting game people. I think they're MK fans or something. I can't remember his name. I'm all for. That's the one thing I do support 100%. I'm all for the inclusion of controls and abilities to give people that do have disabilities to be able to play video games. 100%, man. All the way. You know, I don't want your fucking 50 genders in a game because that's just your illusion. But if you got one arm or no eyes and, you know, and somebody comes up with a way that they can make it so you can enjoy a video game, 100%. All the way. Take them to Netherrealm. You know? That'd make their day. I don't need that shit. You know?
Agree. And like I said, it's the same, and it's the same ones too. Like they just try to preach how much they care about their creators, but there's so many content creators that go unnoticed in the community. And like I said, that's why I tell people, like I say, you know what? I really don't want to count myself as part of the MK community, especially with you guys, because you guys operate on a different playing field than I do. I'm just an MK fan. Like I just love Mortal Kombat. I go in here and talk, and like I said, I say what I say. Like I said, if it offends them, I mean, I don't care. Like I said, it's over the internet. Like I said, I'm not a political figure. I'm not famous or anything, so it's not hurting my career. So, like I said, it just bothers them. Especially like a content creator. Like it makes me even more. It makes me laugh even more when a content creator comes after me, because I'm just a Twitter page. Like that's people under the day need to understand. I'm literally a Twitter account. I literally just say my opinion.
Yep.
I had nothing to do with content creator. I'm not, like I said, I don't have a YouTube or anything like that. So it's not like I'm trying to garner views. I'm literally just typing how I feel about the franchise. If that bothers you guys so much, that's a personal problem then.
Yeah.
But when I have content creators like, you know, Brust Poet or some other chick, I don't even know her name, but she's some orange hair chick or whatever, getting mad at me all because I criticize their precious Mortal Kombat 1 that may I remind you that they didn't even pay for. Is like, it irritates me because you guys are going to sit here and try to make us feel bad for being mad about a game that we spent. Because I got the what's it called, the premium edition. So I spent way over $70 for a game that barely has anything. Yeah. And for characters I never asked for. Like, don't get me wrong, I mean, I guess Omni-Man's cool, Homelander's, you know, whatever. But who the F asked for Peacemaker? I mean, I didn't ask for Peacemaker. He fits more in a DC game. Who asked for who's the other one? I mean, Quan Chi's a cool character, but I didn't want his DLC. Same for Ermac. And then Takeda, like, he's cool too. Like I said, don't get me wrong, they're cool characters, but they should have been base roster. Yeah. Why am I paying for them? And then you got, you know, this rumor coming back too, adding even more guest characters. Like, come on, Janet Cage. Like, they don't take any feedback from the community. They don't ask us what characters we want, like the other fighting games. For example, Soul Calibur 6, jam-packed with fan favorites for DLC. You got everyone that people ask for. Yeah. Tekken 7, all the fan favorites is their DLC for season 1. Yeah. Street Fighter, they still, you know, they have DLC come and go and stuff. Yep. What is Mortal Kombat's problem when it comes to DLC? Like, that's all I want to know.
Yeah, I think it's going back to what you were saying earlier about like trying to reach all the normies. You know.
Probably.
But I have a feeling, that Omni-Man and Peacemaker and Homelander were going to be Injustice 3 guest characters. Because they fit. Like, they seem so out of place. Don't you think? Like, they seem really out of place. You know, like, it's like you got like two Superman hero types in there. You know, it's like they would fit more in an Injustice game, and that's why I think, again, that Injustice 3 was being prepared, because they probably bought the licenses, but then they thought, well, if we put out a superhero game now, when everyone's just literally had enough of superhero crap everywhere, it's probably not going to be, it's not going to sell. So we're going to repurpose it into MK, and you know, because they'd already paid to use them. And, you know, like, you think about, like, the subway fatality Omni-Man has. Yeah, you can still do it. You just don't have blood. It's easy. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a big deal. You know, or you sort of, like, cover it up a little bit or whatever. Like, You get it. Same with Peacemaker. Same with Homelander. Like you could do these things like easily in a Injustice game, and it suits it. But I don't know. Like that 24th character slot really bugs me because at first I'm thinking maybe it's some super secret. You know, like you platinum the game and you can unlock Noob Saibot or something like that. But obviously that's not the case. So, and obviously like Quan Chi and Ermac were like, okay, it's interesting though, because like some of those guys, they've gotten into the files and they've used those characters like the MK1 Hook mod, and they don't actually have movesets as such, like that they will have when they properly come out. So it's sort of weird. It's like, were they part of base roster or not? Like, because they were heavily involved to a degree in the story,
Definitely.
So I don't know, but it's just like Tekken 8 is just gonna fucking destroy MK1 when it comes out. Like
It already has.
Like it's just obviously it's gonna have its own problem. Every single fighting game has you get people like that. So you don't say anything about this game. It's like, well, maybe I just don't know. I'm not saying that. Like I'm talking about MK as you do. Because it's our favorite fighting game franchise. So we're going to talk about it over, say, Street Fighter or Tekken or whatever. Whereas the Tekken fan will have their own issues, or Street Fighter, will have their own issues, and not really care so much about Mortal Kombat. But so I if bad shit's happening in other games, yeah, like obviously that should be called out too by the people that are able to, but. MK1 is just like, there's more people playing MK11 right now. That's weird. Like
It is sad because MK11 is literally my least favorite Mortal Kombat game of all time. But Mortal Kombat 1 is like, how is the game that most people could agree that is the worst Mortal Kombat game? People could agree that is probably done a little bit better than the newest game. Yeah. Like I thought for sure. Like don't get me wrong, Mortal Kombat 1 has better gameplay. By far, definitely has better for gameplay, but the content is lacking. The designs are horrible. The story mode, I mean, like I said, for the most part, it was good until maybe like the last few acts. Yeah, it's like it just feels so lifeless. Like it doesn't feel like Mortal Kombat. Like when I think Mortal Kombat, like I said, back in the older days, it just had that vibe to it. It had like I think it had like some type of like maybe like spooky-ish, but like little gothic atmosphere, still mystic and oriental. Yeah. Like where is that? Like the stages, like everything about it, like I said, it just feels so different. Like Mortal Kombat 1 just feels like another fighting game. And like I said, the fact that there's more people playing Mortal Kombat 11, I think that definitely says something.
Well, like MK1 just doesn't have heart. Like when Tobias was part of everything, like it's interesting though actually, and this is the interesting part, because while the gameplay systems changed in MK 3D era, they still felt like MK games, and like Tobias wasn't part of it, but obviously, like whoever was still in charge, whoever the main people of the team was still there, it was enough to carry those games through, to keep them still feeling like MK games. So I don't know, like it's just, and then obviously MK9 was lightning in a bottle, and then after that, just it felt like things were starting to lose that focus. Now, the storylines in MK1 are actually old abandoned storylines that John Tobias had. So I still wonder whether or not he was on some sort of advisory role, in the story creation of this game. I don't know, but like, and that'd be fine. Like that'd be good to hear that he was back in some capacity, but. I don't know, I get the feeling like Ed Boon's just tired. He's tired of MK. And, this is the result of what happens when you lose love for, your baby. I
agree.
I don't know. And it's just like, look, if you're over it, man, fine. Give it to people that actually love the game, but don't, like, the downside is that they could then turn it into something almost unrecognizable, which is the direction it's going. Like, like Tekken 8 is gonna come out with 32 characters straight out of the gate. It's coming with a fully fleshed out online mode with crossplay. It's coming with a mode where you can fight people's ghosts. So as an offline guy like yourself, you could get online and have literally a limitless supply of essentially quasi-online gameplay through fighting people's ghosts. Because, and I've fought a few in the beta. It compiles it, like when it watches, like when the computer, like obviously, you know, reads how you fight on whatever characters you use. It compiles it so that when you fight them, it's like you're fighting them, right? You know, and it's crazy because a low-level fighter, you know, handles so differently to a high level, and it's reacting as if you're fighting like them for real. So that in itself is almost limitless content, because you can run around the lounge and click on any player and click on ghost mode and like ghost match, and then just whatever characters they've got listed that it's accrued. You know, one might be Jin, one might be Kazuya, one might be this, and they're all different levels because of how much they've used them, which is great, you know. So they might be low rank, low level skill on Jin, but they might be really high on Kazuya, you know. And that is literally blurring the line between online play and offline play. And that is incredible. That is truly incredible. And I experienced that and I'm like, this is mad. This is so much fun. You know, because especially for people that are anxious about getting online, or maybe have no real interest, but they're like, you know, oh, well, you know, I'm a bit bored of arcade. Is there other ways I can play some offline content? It's like, yeah, just get on online on the lounge, chat to people, fight their ghosts, you know, whatever. And you can fight their ghosts even when they're offline. So, you know, like, it's incredible. And then they're bringing in Tekken Ball, which is basically like their beach volleyball game mode that they had back in the day.
Oh yeah, from Tekken 3, yeah, just amazing.
You know, so they, like, the Japanese developers have realized that, yeah, like, you know, they can't just, they want to create like an ecosystem. That's probably the best way to describe it. They want to create an ecosystem. Imagine if MK, like they did, like, you know, like an online, you know, arcade, and you're literally walking around and seeing all the old Midway arcade games, and, you know, everything from all the MK games to War Gods to, you know, some of the other ones like Revolution X and shit, you know, and probably even play them. You know, they literally could have like launched like an online lobby game mode where not only could you sit down at arcade machines like in the other games that have and fight the modern game that's already available, but imagine being able to load up MK2. You know, there's like an MK2 part arcade, you know, and they're all hanging out in there and you can fight other people in MK2. Oh, like, what a missed opportunity, dude. Like,
so much to work with. And that bothers me because Mortal Kombat as a franchise, they just got so much bigger to put in the game. Like, regardless, I mean, I know people are going to say the gigabytes, but you know what? I would happily download a 300 gigabyte Mortal Kombat game if they included a jukebox mode. That I'm not talking about just the one where they play the tracks from that game. I need like the music from all the Mortal Kombat games. I'm talking about from the main ones to the spin-off titles.
Yeah.
I would love to put some Mortal Kombat 2 music over a Mortal Kombat 1 stage.
Yeah.
Or I would love to have Create a Fighter. Or,
Yeah.
you know, just the mini games, chess and puzzle. Like, there's just so much they could put into a Mortal Kombat game. Like, if they would have just took their time and did everything and put all this in Mortal Kombat 1, Mortal Kombat 1 would have easily dominated Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8. But now, since they released the crap we got now we're really going to be looking like the laughing stock because, you know, it's bad enough. Most fighting game people who don't play Mortal Kombat but are big into fighting games, they already look down on Mortal Kombat. And now with this, as Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8 blew Mortal Kombat 1 out the water, now they're really going to talk mess.
Yeah.
So, like I said, as an MK fan, it's just stressful because a franchise I love is just declining. And the only way I can really just be happy is just playing the older games. And
So,
like I said, I don't mind.
So using so going back to what you were saying before about, and you're right, obviously, where they'll do something in a fighting game and then that will then get copied across with other ones. So two things. They obviously must be looking at Tekken 8 and Street Fighter 6 and going, wow, why didn't we do that?
Right.
So which leads into my question. Sorry, two things, I guess. Two questions. Firstly, can it be saved? Right? Can MK1 be saved? Fucking hate that name. Oh, I hate it, dude. Why they call it that? I hate it. Like, it's just the worst name. MK1. They should have just called it New Era. It references New Era everywhere, from bios to story to everything. And then they go, yeah, we'll just call it MK1. What? Are you stupid? Right?
Yeah, that was like very interesting.
And then, so anyway, so can the game be saved? Meaning, like, is it too late? And the second question is it too late for them to look at what the other games are doing, saying with their big online lobbies and stuff, and going, you know what? We can create that and we can put it into this game as part of the cycle of the game. Do you reckon that's possible?
All right. So to answer that question, so for first question, since Mortal Kombat 1 just came out, I definitely do not think it's late to be saved. I feel like they can still save the game. And answer the second part of the question, with the resources that they, Warner Bros, all the money, they could easily, to see what their competition is doing, and they could implement that in their game. Because they always talk about how they want to support this game for a long time. Well, here's your chance. Start coming up with not just gameplay patches, but start adding the new modes. Have out some more free content. Like, just add things to get us interested again. Like, add in, I'm pretty sure they're going to do expansion story mode like they did for MK11 Aftermath. So that's probably a given. But like I said, just start adding them more. You see people talking about they want a tag team. Add in tag team rather than the silly cameo crap, which I still don't even care for, really. Yeah. Don't know what the cameo was. Maybe the game was supposed to be Injustice 3 because I feel like the cameo would have worked better with Injustice as a sidekick. I think that's probably what they're going for. I think it was supposed to be like for sidekicks. Yeah. So, Batman has Robin. Aquaman has Aqualad. So maybe that's what it was for. Yeah. But the cameos we got, the thing that bothers me about the cameos is the roster was horrible for the cameo roster. One, why do you got people who's already on the main roster as a cameo? Yeah. That's just he sat there and bragged about how, oh my god, you're going to see some really obscure characters you haven't seen, they're still in Mortal Kombat game. And most of the characters we see were already either on a roster or we recently saw them. Like, Serena's not an obscure character. We literally seen her for the past few games, just not playable. Yeah. Motaro has been asked for ages. Like, I'm pretty sure if you played the original, if you played Mortal Kombat 3, you'll know who Motaro is. Yeah. And if, like I said, the only character I can say that's probably obscure cameo, and I don't even think it's obscure, is Darius, because he only appeared in one 3D era game. But like I said, if you played those games, you know who he is. When I want obscure characters, I want people who've never been in a game. Like, give me No Face. Give me, Tazia, whatever her name is. Yeah. Give me characters from Mortal Kombat Conquest. Like, they have so much characters from other Mortal Kombat media that they could have implemented as cameos. But instead, they wanted to put in people that are already on a roster, as well as characters that should have been on a main roster. Yeah. Yeah, it's sort of like, and again too, because Ed Boon said in one interview, he's like, we had this idea of Sonya having like a drone thing, it's like, yeah, but it's going to look really weird on Sub-Zero. It's like why would you put Sonya's drone on Sub-Zero? Just give Sub-Zero something that's like related to him, right? Like, you don't have to make them interchangeable. Just make the assist as a permanent tie-in with the main character. So Sub-Zero might have, I don't know, some sort of ice demon that he can summon. I don't know, whatever, right? And Sonya might have a drone, and
things like that. Make it related to the character and tie it only to that character. So then it creates like this sort of like mini subset of special moves on top of the main special moves that they have. I think that would have been fine. I think that would have been awesome.
That definitely. I agree, man. I definitely agree with you. That would have been perfect. Fit the character, give them like an additional set of moves. And it's not giving because people are gonna say, well, that's just a variation. Well, no, the variation, you were just changing the moves. But I feel like with this, it's like this is just gonna be their moves for this game. Because the thing about Mortal Kombat is they changed Mortal Kombat's the one fighting game that it's not gonna play like the last fighting game. Like they changed the core gameplay every single time.
Yeah.
So I think with this iteration of Mortal Kombat, I definitely think they should have did that route of giving maybe Sub-Zero with, like you said, with the Ice Demon or whatever, playing with her drones. So, And
the thing is though, because that's one thing I didn't like in MK Deception was the noob smoke thing. I hated that because it was the first time they'd ever done it, and I didn't like it because I wanted to have each character because I liked each of their moves, but it's sort of you didn't get a whole character of each because they only had bits of each one to create the whole. And I didn't like it, and so but the concept of having some sort of like relatable thing, like you think back to MK10 with Quan Chi, like he could summon like a demon or something, and Scorpion had like those hell demons that could come out of the ground and grab your legs so you couldn't move and shit like that. I mean, that was very creative, like the variations that you could choose. A lot of them were quite creative, but just take that and put it into something that doesn't change the core main character and just add an additional move set. I don't know. I think you're right, man. I think that the cameos, again, with them working on Injustice, was the sidekick system, and that sidekick system, was, they basically just had to like retrofit it with MK stuff, and then push it out as an MK game, because it just feels, it just seems so, it's just weird.
It's very out of place.
Yeah, it's just weird, and the cameos, as you said, like also they're weird too. It's like why is some of the main roster and cameo and vice? It's so over the place. If they bring out a 1v1 mode, that's it. Like at the moment when I fight online, I don't even use the cameo anymore. The only time the cameo shows up is either if I have to do a combo breaker. Which I generally don't because I usually enhance my moves anyway. Or it's part of the throw. So if I press forward or whatever and done the throw, then obviously the character runs out and just does the throw. But yeah, I don't even. I thought, you know what? I'm gonna try and beat people, and it's a bit harder, but I'm trying to beat people online just as the main character now because I can't stand the system. I just can't. It's just crap, And I know some of the shills love posting, oh, I can't wait to see what this combo is going to be like on me, man. It's like, really? Like, I don't buy it, man. Do you? That they're really excited about the possible combinations? I don't know, man.
Oh, man. Like I said, and I'm not even, like I said, in just the cameo system in general, like I said, I really just want a one-on-one mode. Because I said just having a side character. If anything, I feel like they should have took a page out of King of Fighters. It was King of Fighters 99, 2000 that had the striker system.
Yep.
I feel like they should have had it done like that.
Yeah. Because
with them, first of all, they had a lot of characters, and I think since King of Fighters is more of a team-based game anyway, so you have fighter, you have 3 fighters, and then they had the additional fighter. I felt like if Mortal Kombat was going to go that route, they should have made the cameo be a little more involved with the fight. Yeah. So I think I made a post about it. I said, well, if they want to do the cameo system, they should have did like a little timer so that way you swap in with your cameo fighter, give them maybe to like 15 seconds to do what you want to do with them, play with them freestyle, and then after the timer is done, they'll hop back out, and then your main fighter goes back in.
I like that. But I actually kind of like that. That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the Serena fans, like I said, people have been asking for Serena. I'm still surprised she has not been in any NRS game as a main playable fighter. She has a huge fan base,
Yeah.
I've noticed. They could have easily, gave her some moves from, let's say, Armageddon, and then, give her some kicks and punches here and there and stuff, and then boom, you got a cameo fighter.
Yeah.
Rather than just everyone be just regulated to a one-button assist. It's just so lazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. With like with that MK1 hook that Ermacher created, there's like, I think they've changed it with the latest patch. But before the patch dropped, yeah, you had a fully working tag mode in MK1. So if there was a tag mode, no one would go cameos. If there was a 1v1 mode, nobody would use cameos. Cameos is just stupid. Like they're just stupid. And then, like, they're trying to talk up Tremor. It's like, yeah, so, like, I call it the bitch bench. That's what the cameos are. They're all on the bitch bench. So like people
that.
Want Tremor back. Nah, he's just the bitch now. But the shills will sit there and go, oh my god, Tremor's back, it's so amazing. And then they'll do that stupid, face where it looks like they're sucking dick, but there's no dick in the picture.
Oh my god, I can't stand them. And that's what bothers me so much is they would not call it out. They understand that they're the reason. They talk about how they're so big for the community or whatever. You guys are the reason why we get the games we get because you don't call them out. You guys suck their dick and let them do the bullshit they do. Like Uncaged Games, for example. Like I said, it's cool he's an MK fan, but come on, like you're making a 10-minute video over a 2-minute video. And maybe sometimes even less than that, over a costume, over a freaking Halloween costume. Your mouth is just you're just jaw dropping over an ugly Halloween costume. I'm like, come on, dude, like be freaking for real. And then you got other content creators talking about, oh my god, this is the best character look. Or if you guys need to be more grateful, if you guys can't afford it, then that's just on you then. I'm like, this has nothing to do with us affording it. Like I said, I got a whole freaking job. I don't spend my time on YouTube every day fake reacting to a video that you probably already watched before you even made your YouTuber video. So like I said, these content creators like NRS encourages their behavior. And the more they encourage it, the more they're gonna ship. Well,
it's free advertising, bro. They literally, like, that's probably the reason why, like, Ed Boon and all that, like, retweet, like, Sonic Hoax and, Brisk Walk and all these people, because it's literally free advertising. They're having, so everyone's, like, scratching each other's back. They don't get paid by NRS for doing it, I don't think, anyway. But what they do get is, like, oh, the creator of Ed Boon follows me. The creator of, creator of Ed Boon, creator of Mortal Kombat follows me. The creator of Mortal Kombat retweeted something I said. Oh look, they sent it. Like, what? Did Uncaged Games get a fucking chair? Or some shit? It's like...
He did. I think he did get a chair. It was someone that got a chair.
And then, like, it's like, obviously, probably some of these other girls didn't what's her name? Vera or someone else, she got a chair. Or some shit. It's like, look, I mean, I'm not... Again, like... It's obvious. They're not just sending it to some random person that could actually use a damn chair. Like, you know what I mean? They're sending it specifically to these people. They're going, we're going to give you this. Just do a video about it. Right? And then you essentially... They're essentially being pimped out. Right?
Pretty much.
And,
and
like...
here's...
Yeah, go on, sorry.
Go ahead, my bad.
No, you're right, I'm done. Yep.
Oh, okay. So the thing with that is, I don't hear, like, they think that these content creators are going to expand their audience. I've never heard someone who didn't play Mortal Kombat say, oh, I found out about Mortal Kombat because of Breast Poet or whatever. I found out about Mortal Kombat Uncaged. I never heard that. Only people who watch those videos are people who already played Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
So what message are they trying to send? Like, if you really want to expand it, how about you give it to, like, I mean, I'm not saying give it to celebrities, but maybe they want to, like, up their celebrity stats and start having celebrities show off their products. I mean, that's going to get people in talking. Or how about just give it to people, like you said, they don't really have much. Like, that will show much. That would be much more wholesome than giving it to somebody that you already gave a free game to. Which I'm pretty man remind you, the same people that complained that people were playing the game early and uploading YouTube videos early because they didn't get to do it first. It's just like they encourage the most weirdest people, and I never understand that because these people, and I think that makes me even more mad when I see people on Twitter defend these content creators because I'm like, you guys are over here fighting for these people that don't give two damns about you. If you were to die, they want to shed one tear. They don't know your name.
Well, and that's right, but that's they see them. They see them as, I guess, like where they want to be. You know, like like they want to be. They want to be the next brusque poet.
Huh. That's interesting.
Hey,
you know what?
I want to paint my nails and get fumigated.
Yeah, paint your nose black, get a perm, and you'll definitely be your idol.
Look, bro, like, yeah, I'll get my daughter to do makeup on me sometime, you know, because she loves it. She thinks it's funny, but you know what I mean? Like,
right.
But, you know, like, and look, man, if a grown man wants to paint his nails, it's fine, whatever, I don't care, right? But the thing is, yeah, like, at the end of the day, you know, like, yeah, that's what bothers me. Like, I would much rather that, you know, they sort of, you know, propped up like some smaller YouTuber. Not me. I don't need that shit, right? I don't want it. You know, it doesn't bother me. I don't need that shit. I want somebody that would get a kick out of it. You know, that really would benefit. Do you know what I mean? Like that it would be such a huge, like a huge boon to them. You know, big deal. That's what I want to see. You know, because yeah, like obviously everyone's got their own channel. You got your own page on Twitter. I got my own YouTube channel. You know, but I hate doing this shit alone. You know, I like seeing other people come up too. You know, because I'm an old school YouTuber, so that's kind of the mentality we had. Like, you know, back when I used to do it on other channels, we all got big. I got to like on my first YouTube channel, I got to 6,000 subs, because I was covering PlayStation 3 stuff all the time, and then I got bored of it and went, fuck it, I'm going to PC gaming again. So, you know, because I'd always gamed on PC, but I just realized that nah, I'm just done with all this console war shit, you know, and I just walked away from it. And you know, I've done that a bits and pieces over the years, but you know, I like seeing other people. I like hearing from guys like you and other people who aren't, you know, basically dick riders, you know.
Likewise, yeah.
I don't care if people have different opinions. That doesn't bother me. I don't want people to come, you know, suck me off on my channel. I don't want that. I want people to come and say, no, actually, I really like this. I'm like, okay, that's cool, right? But I do get those people that are absolutely. Why don't you go play something else? Stop!
Exactly.
Stop bullying the game.
Twitter page.
Stop bullying the corporation.
I'd be telling people on Twitter, I don't care if you disagree with my opinion. Like I said, if you disagree, that's okay. That's what this page is for. It's just when you guys start doing this weird crap, trying to get all quote unquote personal. Like I seen one. What is this? This is one guy. Mr. Crip or something like that.
Dude, I was just gonna say him, man. Holy shit!
This dude literally tried to say this dude has back to the when I said Mr. Gross looking like sluts. Talking about this dude is so weird or whatever, and he's just like a vile person or something like that. I'm like, you've never met me a day in your life. How do you know who I am? You don't even know if I'm a boy or a girl or what. So how in the world can you already have this weird fixation of who I am as a person, all because of what I see on Twitter? And the thing is, my page is even toxic. My page, I don't attack no one. I don't come for no one. I literally talk strictly about the video game, about fictional characters. If the moment I do talk about anyone, is because I was attacked first, and then I go after them.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm talking strictly about the video game. And of course, you got the pronoun kings and queens, whatever. And then you got content creators, Brisket walking this stupid ass into my post, saying whatever. And then, of course, they want to try to one up me. They look even more stupid. I'm like, sir, I only have 1,800 followers. You have 50K or something like that. Don't worry about this page. Stop getting offended. You disagree or you agree. Just say you disagree and move on. It's not the end of the world. And that's why I wish there was more YouTube creators like you, man, because you speak your shit, you own it, and like I said, and I love the fact that you don't care what they think, because who did they tell you? It's just freaking people who probably don't have no social life. These people probably still live with their parents, people who still, I say teenagers, snowflakes, and like I said, it's just, you get to a point where it's just like, you know what? It's more fun making them mad than trying to be on their side. So if I wake up one day and I don't even be really thinking about it, I just type on impulse. Like right now, I could probably say, Mortal Kombat 1, I really didn't like the fact that Liu Kang is a hero. I could type something like that, and I'll get an hour later 90 comments saying, "Why are you so ungrateful? He's literally the main hero of Mortal Kombat." I'm like, okay, I don't care for him. Why do you think his neck is broken on my profile picture?
That's right. I'll tell you what, man. That was a bold ass move. Killing Liu Kang,
it was,
wasn't it, dude? That was huge.
And that was amazing, man. That's what we're missing nowadays. They don't take risks no more. They took a risk, killed off the main hero, and you know what? I still love Deadly Alliance. I know people want to give it crap, whatever. Me personally, I think Deadly Alliance is still a good game. I mean, Deception obviously blew out the water, but Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance introduced, not the RPG Conquest, but still a new mode. Yeah. We got the Crypt for the first time. Yeah. We got more alternate costumes. We got battle damage. We got, like I said, more weapons. Not like how Mortal Kombat 4 did, where you could lose it if someone hits you a certain way. You could actually use it. Different fighting styles. So much went into Deadly Alliance, and then they just capitalized it on Deception. Yeah. So when they killed Liu Kang, it was like, holy crap! Okay, the hero just got killed. Yeah. And then Deadly Alliance ended with the Deadly Alliance winning. Yeah. You would never see that ever again, probably in a Mortal Kombat. You would never have the bad guys winning. It's always going to be the heroes save the day, and the next game is going to be them doing the same exact crap they did in the last game. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they there was a funny video on X about somebody. It was like, the character select music from Deadly Alliance shouldn't have gone this hard. And it was a picture, I think it was a black dude dancing, it was a gif of black dude dancing really violently to the Deadly Alliance music. But I tell you what, man, it was great, wasn't it? It was really good. And remember, when you started the game and you click on the menu and it kind of goes down the tunnel, and stuff, even just sort of the presentation. They really put a lot of effort into the presentation of the game. I'm actually wondering. I'm wondering if and when they bring out the story expansion, it's going to be kind of like a soft reboot of this game. I've said this before in videos. I'm wondering if they're going to rename Mortal Kombat 1 with the actual story expansion. If it's coming out called, I don't know, Mortal Kombat Apocalypse or something, because it's whatever, right? I'm wondering if they'll rename the game.
I will hope so, because Mortal Kombat 1 really does feel like Mortal Kombat 1 with nothing. Yeah. Like I said, this game could have been so much more.
Yeah, I know. And because they're doing Omni-Man because of, isn't Invincible Season 3 or 2 or something coming out?
Season 2, yeah.
Season 2, right? So now, because there's people asking in the chat, because I'm curious actually. Who's your favorite shill?
My favorite shill? Ooh, that's a hard question. I hate them all. But
what's the one you think of and you go, fuck? Oh my god, again? I
would say, honestly, like I said, it has to be Brustpole, because he gives me the most engagement. Like I say, he's the main one that gets under my post. doing his thing. So as soon as I see a brown-haired boy under my post talking about whatever, I'm like, oh my god, again. And then on top of that, it makes me even more. Like I said, like I mean, I'm not gonna say I get mad. I just get more like annoyed because it's like he tries to make me look stupid, and then he makes himself look stupid.
Yeah.
Like he knows what I'm talking about when I post things. Like I'll post a picture, and honestly, you can see what I'm talking about in the picture. He will repost it, and he will try to go like, "Well, actually," I'm like, "You know what I meant." And of course, his brain dead followers, I'm guessing the other nail painters will freaking hype him up and like, "Oh yeah, you got him good, bruh. You got him good." Yeah. And it's just like, And then I guess my second favorite, honestly, I say Caboose also annoys the hell out of me too. And I don't even think he really is a mortal. He didn't start playing until the NRS. He's definitely an NRS freaking player. Like he needs to Caboose his ass out the damn franchise. I'm telling you that.
I don't know if I should say this, but like Caboose is. How do I put this in delicately? Because I don't want to get super in trouble. Yeah, I can't. When I first saw Caboose, actually, you know what? Every time I see Caboose, I'm still kind of confused on what particular sex he is. Right? No, because it's the hair. Right? I'm getting very much like, you know, butch hair vibes. You get what I'm saying? Right? His whole look throws me. It's really strange. Right? Yeah, I'm sure he's a nice guy, but like I'm sure they're all nice people to a degree, but like I don't know, it's just really strange. It bothers me, like, you know, and of course he's all over Marvel. Like, you know, I think there's a lot to be said with Marvel fans and the way that, you know, some of these MK fans are, because they seem to be one in the same pool, you know. They are definitely. But yeah, I don't know. I look at him and I think he's just kind of, I don't know. It's just the hair and he's kind of, it's like butch lesbian look. I don't know. Like it's so bad. Like it's weird. He's a dude, right? He's a dude, isn't he? Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, in this day and age, I worry about my son dating. You know, because it's like make sure they got the right tackle. You know. I think you know what. I think you should definitely try to get Dynasty on a podcast. Like he's interesting. Like I said, like at first I thought he was a shill, but he talked about how he got blacklisted for NRS, so he must have done some shit. Yeah. And like I said, like if you got blacklisted, you must have spoke your mind or something. Well, that's the thing. Like, yeah, because I think it'd be pretty cool to talk to him. I remember I dropped a comment on one of his videos a long time ago, and something, and he said he replied to it because it was basically a shill comment, you know, so it obviously must have upset him, and but I think that by seeing obviously guys like you on Twitter, and I'm not saying I'm influencing him or anything like that, but I think something's changed, that he's obviously, there's things that bother him that he wants to talk about. But again, because he's the age bracket, he's like, oh, you know, I really want to vent. Because that's what we do, man. We see stuff. We love Mortal Kombat. That's the problem. We love it so much that we're obviously going to be far more critical. And we're going to voice our displeasure a lot more than, say, you know, something in another game that we don't care all that much for. Right. So, yeah. So anyway, so it's sort of, somebody said, oh, apparently he was covering leaks and that's what got him, you know, possibly blacklisted. But I think it's been good because he's seen people basically going, I don't give a fuck. Who cares? Right? I just want to talk about what I want to talk about, which is exactly how it is. And the funny part is, though, he's a giant-ass channel. It's not like he's 50 subscribers. You know, he's huge. You know, and that's the thing. Like he's obviously looking around at his peers and going, oh, they're getting invited and they're doing this and doing that. Am I doing something wrong? And I'd like to say, no, you're doing nothing wrong. You're actually doing everything right now, right? You're speaking your mind. Don't be afraid. It's okay. You know, because at the end of the day, you are just a consumer. You're a customer that loves this thing. And if you don't like something, the way that things get changed is by voicing your opinion. When you start, like, you know, some of these shills will be like, oh yeah, I really don't like this. And then you watch their video and they're like, yeah, I don't like this particular color. It's like, dude, really? Like,
something so minimal.
Yeah, you know. And so it's sort of, yeah, like I guess what I'm saying is, like, I want these people just to be honest, you know. And like some of them I don't mind, like, see, like Losty, like she seems like she's a nice person, but then she went all like Kombat, you know, cops on, you know. Oh, started, you know, sharing and retweeting people who were like yelling and screaming slurs and stuff in online play. And it's like, boy, you know, you wouldn't have survived, you know, a Counter-Strike lobby or a Call of Duty lobby back in the day. You know, like, this is what happens. You shit talk. This is what you do. You know, and some of those words are a little bit offensive, but you know what? Nobody's dying here. Like, you know what I mean? But this is the problem, is that then you get obviously people and those big influential people who are trying to, like, they literally like tag in like Tyler Lansdowne and stuff like that. What's he gonna do? He can barely do anything
for the game. He doesn't do anything for the game. What makes you think he's gonna do anything for y'all?
You know, it's like, oh, we need to expose these people. Who gives a shit? How do we know that they're not saying stuff that they're not just simply putting online that we don't see? You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's sort of, these people have to be very careful when you start going down roads of like, oh, look at these horrible people, because, you know, you just don't know what skeletons they're trying to cover up. And
here's the thing about social media. Oh, my bad, I cut you off.
No, you're good. Go ahead. Yep.
So the thing about social media is everyone wants to be so morally good. Everyone has said something messed up in their life. Not one person on this planet has been so pure that they've never said anything. They never said like a slur or something like that. Every single person has said that. It's just you just got caught saying it. Now everyone wants to try to police you. Like, no, it's bullcrap. I'm pretty sure right now these people talking about want to say somebody's homophobic probably go back and say some of the most homophobic things off the internet. So you know, that's why I say I never care. Like, I think I've got to a point, even though I'm 25 and, you know, a lot of 25-year-olds still care what other people think about them. I honestly reached a point where I don't care what people think about me anymore. I say how I feel, and if you don't like it, well, then that's your problem then, because I want to say it. I'm gonna stand on what I'm gonna say. Yeah. And when more people could be like that, I guarantee you the world will be so much better, because I'm so tired of people wanting to talk about we should cancel this cancel culture crap or whatever. Yeah. I'm like, you're gonna cancel someone over a video game, over a freaking video game. Like, how does that sleep? How do you get sleep at night? Like, how do you feel? Like, what makes you feel better? Does that add money to your account? Like, are you getting a mansion out of this? Like, what are you getting out of that? Just like when people, these stan accounts, like I said, God, I can't stand some of these stan accounts because they live off of negativity. They want to always get interactions, and then when you block them, oh, I won, they blocked me. Yeah. I'm like, how is that a win because somebody blocked you for being annoying? Yeah. Like, I don't understand. So, like I said, this whole internet and stuff like that, and the policing, because they want people to feel bad for them, it's like, come on now. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Losty Girl, and like I said, she's actually one of the few creators I do like. I like her, and Super also seems he doesn't seem problematic. He seems pretty chill. They're like the only two. Also, SMG Princess. She's a little she's known but not as known like like some of the other ones. But I think she's pretty cool though, and she's just like me. She sometimes speaks her mind, and people get mad at what she says. Yep. And I love it. I love someone that can piss people off with just their opinion. Like, I love that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing though. Like, you just you people have to understand, like, at the end of the day, like, look, I see, like, psychology is such a weird thing, right? Because, like, you know, some people get really defensive over stuff because maybe there's, like, some sort of, like, historical or, like, you know, some sort of, like, symbolism. You know, maybe they're going through a hard time in life and they discover this game and therefore,
you know, they become very defensive of it because they think that, oh, well, you know, if they stop making Mortal Kombat games or they stop doing this or they stop doing that, then you're going to take things away. The MMO community is absolutely like that, right? So the MMO community is like, you know, don't say anything bad about our game because MMOs can just get turned off just like that, you know. So if populations dwindle and they can't afford to, you know, have people on there or whatever, you know, to keep it going and blah blah blah, then the entire game can collapse, and then you have it end up with a whole lot of MMO refugees. So yeah, people can get very defensive for a whole variety of reasons. And some of it, yeah, I guess I can understand, but at the end of the day, they also have to understand that, you know, these gaming companies exist because of us, not the other way around, you know, and therefore, you know, if they want to continue to get our patron, you know, our money or whatever, then they have to earn it. And there's a lot of things, like even Sonic's face was effed up, you know, when they first showed him for the movie. And the entire internet erupted and said, that's crap. It looks like a pedo or something, you know.
I remember that.
So they went back and they fixed it. Brilliant movie. Right? Brilliant movie. So, well, at least I like it anyway. But, you know, so, yes, these things do actually make a difference. You know, having criticism is a good thing. And so therefore, you know, at the end of the day, you've paid money for this product or service or whatever. And if it's underperforming or subpar, then you have every right to say, come on, this, you know, this, especially too, as you've mentioned many times, that they've set a precedence themselves. That's the funny part. They've got their competitors taking their ideas and doing better now. And then MK1 comes out in the most anorexic state with like barely anything to do except for this like quasi-mobile game called Invasions. And their competitors are literally just like Tekken 8, like Harada must be looking at what's going on with MK1 and going, okay, we're not selling a $12 something. You know, we can't do that. Because Tekken 7, I think, sold like frame data at one point or something like that, right? You know, Street Fighter's done, you know, stuff as well. And, you know, all of that stuff should be called out. You know, all of that stuff should be called out. But, you know, if they learn from it and they do better, fine. That's good. Earn it back. Earn the customer back. You know, everyone can have that chance. Like No Man's Sky. You know, Cyberpunk. Look at Cyberpunk now. You know.
Oh, definitely, man.
You know,
say games that start off rocky, like they now, you know, their DLC and updates have made the games phenomenal. Yeah. And like I said, I still have faith. Like I said, like hopefully, like this is the wake up call to Mortal Kombat 1. Like I said, because it's definitely not winning fighting game of the year. If it wins fighting game of the year, I would be pretty shocked. But I will definitely wanted to like, okay, this is what we need to work on. This is what we need to add. This is how we need to reshape this and do maybe a soft reboot of our game so that way it will do better. Because like I said, the crap we got this time is just like I already installed the game. I've never uninstalled the Mortal Kombat game this quick. Like I said, Mortal Kombat 11, I had that, and I don't really care for that game, but I think because that was 2019 when that came out, so I was 21, so I was still, you know, young and naive. I was like, oh my god, new Mortal Kombat game, you know, the hype, until I realized it was, you know, fucking sucked. So, so with this game, I'm glad that I was like, okay, this game just isn't all that. So we'll see though. Like I said, I believe it'll be saved.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's literally early days. It's only a month and a week old, give or take, you know. So they could easily, you know, rectify a whole bunch. You know, like, again, they have a literal plethora of content that they could literally look at previous games and go, yep, let's just do that. Like, what was it? What was I going to say? I can't think now. Hang on. No, I think I lost No. Yes. No. Yeah, I think I did. Yeah. No, I did. That's right. It'll come back to me. It'll come back. But yeah, no, they've got like a whole plethora of content. You know, that they can pull from. All the mini games. Easy. Done. You know, like all the mini games even from MK9 where test your might. Like, I don't like test your might in this one. With the heads you got to smash. It's supposed to be like wood and stuff, not the stupid ass heads. Test your might, test your sight, test your luck. You know, random combat. Bring back random combat. You know, so you had all the different, you know, you had the slot machine things and you could choose how many you had and all the different modifiers that, you know, could randomly be selected. You could have headless combat, armless combat. You know, that's crazy stuff. And imagine having that and then making that online. That's nuts. That'd be awesome.
Nuts.
You know, so it's not hard to do. They've literally got the blueprint right there. That's what I was going to say. I knew something was off because the 30th anniversary rolled around and we got dick all. Right? We didn't get shit except for some stupid ass, oh, thank you, trailer. You know, like when the 30th rolled around for Street Fighter, they pumped out like a collection of their old games. You know, like, you know, they literally have a gold mine of games and content that they could just feed us for years. You know, or as the Twitter people say, we'd be eating good, right? But, you know, fuck, I hate that shit. Oh, ate. Oh, he ate. Oh, shut up. Just fucking talk normal, would you? Like, it bothers me on a grammatical level, man. It really bothers me.
I said it's so funny that like I said, a terminology, or like I said, they like using a C word for some reason. I'm like, I got context on this, so apparently it's supposed to be a compliment. I'm like, how is the worst curse word in the English dictionary supposed to be a compliment? Like, I don't understand. Like I said, I don't understand what they think. Like I said, I never, like I said, I don't want to try to attack a community or anything like that, but let's just say they got a very chaotic way of thinking.
Yeah, I know. It's very unmedicated.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know. Like I said, I mean, I still support them, but they just do some weird shit.
Yeah.
But like I said,
but they didn't do anything for 30th. Nothing. No.
Nothing.
Hey, here's a classic. You know, we're releasing the classic MK games. You know, all the 2D ones. You know, including console versions. Dude, instant sale. Oh, here's the 3D era games, including Shaolin Monks. You know, just upscaled, so you got high res. You know, in terms of like the anti. So because
we sold like hotcakes.
Yeah, so I can run like on the on emulators on PC. If I run the 3D era games, I can run them with anti-aliasing, really good anti-aliasing. So they look brilliant, all beautiful, smooth, looks great. You know, the textures are still old, but it looks amazing. That's all I got to do. Give all this shit to us. It's very easy. Different packs, you know, we'd all buy them, you know that. All online play. Sold. Done. Like, I don't understand. It's a literal gold mine. You know, a literal gold mine. And yet, they just don't do it. I don't understand. I don't understand. You know what I'm thinking? Like, because somebody pointed this out in the Tekken 8 beta, in the dojo area or whatever it was called, which is supposed to be like a practice area. There's screens that are showcasing like Tekken 1, Tekken 2, Tekken 3, and I think Tekken Tag. Now, I don't know, right? But could you imagine, and it wouldn't be hard because it's not like they're big games. You know how incredible it would be that when the game comes out, like you could literally play the old Tekken game within Tekken 8.
That would be amazing because Tekken 5 did that. Tekken 5 literally had Tekken 1 through 3 and another game all in Tekken 5, and Tekken 5 already had enough content as it was.
Yep.
So if they could do all that, they should have no problem putting in those games, especially on the consoles we got now. Like those games wouldn't really take up much memory anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, there's a program on PC called Fightcade, right? Or think of it kind of like Fighting Arcade, right? It's called Fightcade. And so I was playing a friend of mine now. Like I've played on it before, and sometimes it's a little laggy depending on distance. But what it is it's all free, and it allows you to play games that normally would say arcade games like MK2, MK1, or whatever. But you can play them online, right? There's a few emulators for years that have been doing that, but this condenses it into very focused on fighting games. Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, King of Fighters, you name it. You know, and I played this dude in America, the arcade version of MK2, on a free program, right? You're telling me that NetherRealm and Warner Brothers can't do that shit professionally? You know, they already did an arcade collection years ago, which they all, again, like MK9, you know, discontinued it for sale. I don't know why. Fucks me why they did that. I have no idea. They own it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why did they discontinue it if they own the product? It's so weird. And the only thing I can think of is that they are trying to just force people to only play the new stuff. Which is so weird because there was that, what was that? Was it Jim Ryan or someone that was working at Sony? And he comes out and he's like, oh, nobody wants to play old games. You know, and he got massive backlash because you know what people do? You know, because there's memories there. Some of them are even better than the newer versions. And, you know, like, people love that shit. And we're getting to a point now where, yeah, you could literally put all the old MK games into a modern MK game. You know, so when people want to take a break from the main game, they're still kept in the game by playing other stuff. They need to create an ecosystem. That's what Tekken are doing. That's what Street Fighter's done. MK has no ecosystem. It needs an ecosystem, and this invasion shit is boring. You know,
super boring.
So,
and like I said, the invasions, it felt like a chore. Like I said, when a game becomes like a chore to play it, it's not a fun game then. I shouldn't have to be running like, oh, I need to go complete this so I can get this, whatever. And I still didn't even feel satisfied. Once I completed Invasions, I didn't feel satisfied. I mean, I got a trophy. Congratulations. But other than that, it was like, what else is there? Like, I don't get a new character. I don't get a new stage. I don't get some super rare skin. Because, I mean, the skins are all trash anyway in this game. They're just ugly recolors of one another. And then the one that does get the most skins is Johnny Cage, and that's it. Like I said, like what else? Like I love Baraka, I love Scorpion, but they don't got that much skins to work with. Yeah. So it's like Mortal Kombat X and 9, they have plethora. Well, the DLC of course came. You had a plethora of skins. You got the classic ninja skins. You got their Mortal Kombat 3, the Mortal Kombat 1s. Then you got some had their what was it? Mortal Kombat X. They had their Mortal Kombat. Some had their retros like Ultimate. Not Ultimate. Mortal Kombat 4 Quan Chi, Mortal Kombat 3 Jax. Yep. Mortal Kombat 11, that too. They had their classics. So with this game, why is it that I gotta pay money? I mean, not pay money. Pay money, but $10 for a Deadly Alliance skin of Scorpion that doesn't even look that much like exactly his skin because his freaking skull is correct. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, they just crispied his head. It's not actually it's not actually a skull on fire like Ghost Rider like it should be. They literally like barbecued his head and then stuck flames on it. It's exactly. It makes me so mad. It's like, and then I'm scared. Because I know the outfits for the girls aren't exactly gonna come back. Like, and some of them weren't even all that. Some of them were pretty tame. Like I said, like I could like Tanya's 3D era outfit wasn't all that bad. Like, of course, she had some skin showing, but it wasn't like she was, in a full-on, like, Melina MK9 flesh pitch outfit. So, like I said, they should have no problem with bringing some of the girls' outfits back. And then Astra, out of all characters, was the first to be cut from head to toe. Yeah. And I don't even like her outfit in this game because they made her just look like, it's not even Astra. She has none of her... Like, she has nothing from Deception to this game. Like, it feels like a completely different character, and I didn't really care for that because, like, her sword, but that's like, her sword was not her core gameplay. Her core gameplay, what I remember, was her light-based attacks, her spinning torpedo,
Yeah.
like her giant hat. That's like her trademark. And now you get some, girl who looks like Devorah, who got mistaken for Devorah, and I called her ugly, and now people are over here mad at me because I called a fictional character ugly. Like, be real. If y'all saw Asha walking down the street, y'all would be terrified to even talk to her because look how way she looks.
Oh yeah,
she looks like a crackhead.
Yeah. Speaking
of... oh, no, go ahead. I'm done.
No, that's alright. So, okay, let's talk about Tanya. Right now. Because they came out and they're like, oh yeah, Tanya's black. They officially said, oh, Tanya's black. But interestingly enough, and this is like originally I'm like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. Like, I mean, it doesn't bother me. Like I've been playing fighting games a long time. 99% of fighting games have demographics from all over the world. Everything from Art of Fighting, Street Fighter, King of, whatever. By the way, that's one thing I was going to mention. Art of Fighting, old ass Art of Fighting, had battle damage.
They did. I definitely. And the thing is, so SNK, I know it's getting a little off topic from the Mortal Kombat, but SNK is like, I love their games, but I think that's one franchise I kind of struggle with because their difficulty with the games is a little much for me because like trying to play, like for example, I remember I got KOF 96 back on a PS4, and the first stage or two will be easy. Then you get to the third stage and it's like the AI is reading all your attacks.
Yeah.
And then Art of Fighting is like, I played it in an arcade. They had it in an arcade in a mall I played at, which is strange because I did not think someone was gonna even carry that cabinet.
Yeah.
But I played that and I couldn't even win one match because it was so hard for me.
Yeah.
So even Mark of the Wolves, love the design, suck at the games.
But you know what's interesting? Like, there was some really cool concepts that, like, Neo Geo was very experimental with. Like, so the Samurai Showdown games, you could actually cut people in half. And it had blood. World Heroes games had, like, both normal arenas and then death trap arenas. Which was pretty cool. You had, like, firewalls and spikes and all sorts of shit, So, there was... And then, I think it was the Fatal Fury games, they introduced the foreground and background fighting. Do you remember that? Where you could actually like leap into the foreground and background, They
did.
And that was like, dude, that was nuts. Like when you think about what they were experimenting with, like Capcom never did that. It was all SNK. It was pretty cool.
SNK, like I said, they don't get enough credit. And, hold on, I gotta take just 1 minute. My dog I gotta take my dog out to use the bathroom.
That's alright.
Alright, I'll try to make it quick as possible.
That's so cool, man.
Alright, I'll be right back.
Alright. Mark of the Wolves, yeah, that's a good game. Yep. Was Last Blade? That was Last Blade was SNK, wasn't it? Yeah. Jeffrey Combs says Havoc's origin is a bit arse. Looking forward to real Havoc in the future. Yeah. That was a shock actually with the ending, seeing the original Havoc. How you going, Hollow Hunter? I haven't watched Cage Match actually yet. Actually, I've only watched Scorpion's Revenge. So I haven't watched Battle of the Realms yet. I haven't watched Stormfront. Is it Stormfront? No, Snow. What's it called? Snowstorm. Snow something. Whatever. And then Cage Match. I haven't watched them yet. Yeah, it's interesting actually. Like Neo. Thinking about it, like SNK took a. They really like every single sort of franchise that they did. Sort of had like this really cool thing about it. Like in Art of Fighting, do you guys remember in Art of Fighting, when you taunt them, you'd actually take away their abilities, like you take away their bar to do Snowblind. Yeah, thank you, Sonic Blue. So if you taunt them in Art of Fighting, you'd actually take away their bar, which allowed them to do special moves. So taunting was a gameplay mechanic. And that was Art of Fighting, like the original Art of Fighting. That's crazy. Just finished the long session of Dead Space. The new one or the remastered one? Did they take down the bug reports? Really? Jeez. What a fail. Do I have a guilty pleasure fighting game? Apart from Mortal Kombat? Samurai Showdown. Yeah. Yeah, Samurai Showdown. And that could be because of the blood, perhaps. But you know, it's not gratuitous anyway. It's not really, you know, it's only, you know, it's not bad. But yeah, I'd say Samurai Showdown. Yeah, it's very cool. I like using Hamaru, but I also like using Genjutsu as well. So he's got a really nice moveset. So and I actually did like the new Samurai Showdown that they did. So oh, thank you for subbing, Jeffrey. Appreciate that, man. Eternal Champions, yeah, dude, shit. I have to keep pressing on and sort of keep covering more and more, like reviewing of more and more of the games. There's just so much I want to talk about with the state of Mortal Kombat right now, and sometimes I forget that you know, the things I love doing on this channel actually is like you know, creating an archive of fighting games. So I definitely want to do Eternal Champions. What I never got to play, I think, Eternal Champions went on Mega CD, I think. So Samurai Showdown is underrated. There's a few Samurai Showdown characters I wish made it. I wish they made it into the 2019 version. They never did.
Alright, I'm back. My apologies. My dog is he's a nightmare to try to use the bathroom out there. I'm like,
no, that's alright, man.
School out here.
That's alright. There was a good question in the chat. I actually want to know from you actually. They go, do you have a guilty pleasure fighting game?
Guilty pleasure fighting game.
As in, like one that you just like, yeah, I love it, you know. So.
Oh, okay. So I'll say my guilty pleasure fighting game has to probably be going on because there's so many fighting games I love. I would say my guilty pleasure probably has to be Dead or Alive 4.
Yeah.
To say, like, that's a game where it's like, I'm in a mood to play something, raunchy but fun at the same time. So,
Yeah.
like I said, I just boot up Dead or Alive 4, and then I guess my second favorite, my second guilty pleasure fighting game probably will have to be. Because I'm not gonna say my obviously favorite. Like obviously, my favorite will be Deception. But my guilty pleasure has to be. Let's see. Probably. Soul Calibur 2. I would say that's my
Soul
other guilty
Calibur
pleasure.
2,
Yeah. Soul Calibur 2 is like so. I have so many memories of Soul Calibur 2.
Yeah, oh, it's a good game. Yeah, Jeffrey Combs, at some point in the next week, I'm gonna do a video asking people that question. So I'm gonna shout you out for doing that. That's a good idea. It's a good idea, if that's all right. I said mine's Samurai Showdown.
Ooh, which one?
Okay, so roster wise, like if I'm like, okay, so all right, I don't know if you get like this. Like, so for me, if I'm like, yeah, I want to have big roster, I'm in the mood for big Samurai Showdown roster. Obviously 5, right? Or is it 5? They never did. Yeah. But no, 5 perfect. That's it, isn't it? It's 5 perfect, isn't it? I think. But,
I'm not really. I mean, I know Samurai Showdown, but I'm like my memory like really blurry when it comes to Samurai Showdown games, so I may not know.
Yeah. But I think it's Samurai Showdown 2. I think I don't know, like, because MK2 is kind of like one of those as well. Like it's pretty much just a perfect game to a degree. And I think Samurai Showdown 2 was great. With its characters and everything. I think it was pretty good. Now everyone's mentioning more games that I know I love too, like Primal Rage. Primal Rage, like that's a. I guess I'd say it's a guilty pleasure as well. You can have more than one guilty pleasure. That's not illegal, is it? That's fine.
No.
Right. Definitely Primal Rage, I'd say as well. But I think it was because, like, I was never like an expert at it, and it was such a weird. Because I don't know. Have you ever played Primal Rage? The dinosaur.
That's dinosaurs. Yeah, I played that.
Yeah, it was so weird though because you had to hold the buttons and then do the movement. So if you wanted to do an attack, you had to hold the buttons down and then do the movement and then let go of the buttons. It was weird. But it was so different.
Primal Rage.
Yeah. But it had fatalities and stuff. One of the monkeys pisses on you as a fatality. It's hilarious. It was so cool.
There was another video game. Because I think around the 90s, like with Mortal Kombat, when they came around, a lot of fighting games wanted to take that formula of having like fatalities in there. So that's how they got the Mortal Kombat clones. But I think there was one game, I think it was Clay Fighter, where they had the fighters doing like, these weird fatalities, and I thought it was like so goofy.
There was Naughty Dog, right? Everyone knows Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
But what you don't know is that I think it was the first game that they ever made was a fighting game called Way of the Warrior. It came out in the Panasonic 3DO. It was a digitized fighting game like Mortal Kombat. Awful. Like, it's so bad, but it's so cool. Right?
I think I saw it, Way of the Warrior. No, I'm thinking Kasumi Ninja. No, I think I did see Way of the Warrior.
That's another one.
There's like so many. There's so many Mortal Kombat clones. Because I know there's that, Tattoo Assassins.
Tattoo Assassins. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that shit, man.
Even.
I love that. And then they had on PC, because I don't think they had it anywhere else. They had what was it? Karate Bikini Babes, I think they're called. Hang on, let me check. No shit, man. Like, hang on, let me find. Where's my fighting game list? What are they called? Bikini Karate Babes 1 and 2. So it's literally like, think of it like if they employed OnlyFans girls to basically do motion capture for fighting games. It's
I can already imagine how
right,
bad it looks.
you know, well, okay, well, it's not all bad, you know, like it's
Well,
easy
you're
on the
right
eyes.
about that.
But if you wanted to play it in a professional level, I mean, you're not going to see that shit at Evo. You know what I should do? Right, I was thinking this the other day. If I ever got real big, real rich, right? I would create my own fighting game thing to oppose Evo. Right? And I would have karate bikini babes. Right?
Oh, that would bring us so much money, dude. That would bring us so
Right.
many. That would bring us so many people over the internet. And then you got the OnlyFans models. They'll support that. You could even use them as DLC. You can use them as that'll bring us so much money.
Right.
And then what Evo is. It's funny you brought that up because Evo actually I don't know if it was Evo, but I knew it was someone that banned Dead or Alive 6 because of I think there was a match going on or something like that. And you could free from the camera or something like that. And they kind of did it in a position that looked very sexually get out your mouth.
Yeah.
But they had it like in a position that looked very sexual.
Yeah.
And they banned it from it. So it's funny how certain things can't even be done on Evo because they want to appeal to certain people. I'm like, hold on, don't they have it in Las Vegas? Like literally the city of sense. Why do you guys care so much about being pure?
Oh, I know. No, I'd love to. I'd love to. Like people are mentioning like Bloody Raw. I'd love to be able to just like, run tournaments for like a lot of these games, either these yesteryear games or some of these obscure ones, and that'd be like, could you imagine like, yeah, we're running Art of Fighting 1, right? Like,
so it would be very rare.
It'd be so cool. Like, like that, I love it, and because like I don't, because unfortunately, like Evo, it's not a celebration of all fighting games. It's a celebration of very tiny subset selection.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's a shame because, like, yeah, I guess I guess we are part of the fighting game community. But when I think of that, I think of fighting games, like not just I'm part of the MK1 community, fighting game community. No, I'm part of I love the idea of all the fighting games, that'd be nuts. Like people are mentioning like Time Killers, Bloodstorm, those were arcade
Time
games.
Killers, okay.
Yeah.
Some people bringing back some OGs around here.
Yeah.
I like that.
And I was saying, I think you were taking the dog out because I was saying that like SNK, like every game they brought out had like this really awesome mechanic. Yeah, no, I think you might have heard some of it. But yeah, like they did Last Blade as well, didn't they? Like SNK did Last Blade, so and that was a great fighting game as well. But like that's sort of like because okay, so back in the day, in my early 20s, we had I gotta go in like 5 minutes. So because I know I've been chatting, I gotta like drop my daughter off to the like shop.
No problem.
But Weapon Lord, holy shit, Weapon Lord. Somebody mentioned Eternal Champions before as well, dude. Wow.
Eternal Champions. I remember that game on the Genesis because it was it was hard for me to play, but I do remember they had some pretty gruesome fatalities though.
Yeah. So, okay, so in my like early 20s, I used to work at this computer shop, and we came up with this idea to run, we call it NetFest. And this is back in the day when you had LAN gaming. So, people would take their computers to an event, hook them all up into like, switches or routers, and then they sit there and play Quake and Doom and, all that, which is awesome. Except for the monitors, they were giant, they're very heavy to carry. But I was in charge of the console area, so I was running like console competitions, for the fighting games at the time, like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and stuff. And one of the time, I think it might have been the last time we did a NetFest. It was very special because back then, like, you know, because okay, so living in Australia, our refresh rate was worse compared to the US, right? Our games literally ran slower than what you guys had over there. So, so what happened was that's when the modding scene came in for the PlayStation 1. Because they're like, well, you know, the first trick was like putting a spring. No, so you put in a disc like Doom, which had all like the music tracks. You put that in, and then as the game loads up, you swap it out and put in the copied disc, you know, of whatever game it is. And it thinks that it's loading the authentic, like an authentic game, right? Shouldn't be saying this live, but whatever. So long ago anyway, right? But the reason why it became so popular is because if you imported, say, Tekken from, say, the US or Japan, it was running at full screen at 60 frames. Whereas the Australian version had, like, you know, widescreen bars top and bottom, and it was running at probably like, you know, 40, 30 frames. You know, or 50 hertz, yeah, 50 hertz, sorry. So it was awful. So it was actually a net benefit to pirate back then, because we'd actually be getting the game in its proper true state, you know, the way it was meant to be played, you know, at the proper speed. And so you imagine what it's like playing a fighting game where it's literally like you press the button to punch, and then literally half a second later the punch comes out. It's awful, you know, really, really awful. But somebody had imported a copy of Tekken 2 from Japan, and it was the middle of winter, and we're all freezing in this, you know, this big school, you know, open gymnasium type area, and we're all crowded around at the end of the night, this TV, you know, lighting up character after character after character, you know, showcasing their throws, because that was big back then. Tekken was all about the throws. Oh, what do the throws do? You know, what bones are they breaking and stuff like that. You know, it wasn't anything about combos. And it was amazing. It was so cool, man. You know, like, it was so cool experiencing that. You know, and that was Tekken 2. Tekken 2 was a huge game. That was a game, that was massive release, you know, when it came out. Because it was so anticipated, bigger roster, you know, it was nuts. So...
My bad. Sorry, I was just trying to handle something. Okay.
No, that's all right. I'm gonna go in a minute anyway. But yeah.
Now that I'm talking, but
no, that's all right.
Yeah. So to finish off, yeah, Tekken 2. So the funny thing is, so I actually didn't get introduced to Tekken until Tekken 3. So what happened was my dad brought it home, and me and my sister, he like slid it under the door, because he was like in the bathroom, and we wanted to know what was in the Best Buy bag. Yep. So he was like, "Okay, here, you fucking kid." So he like slid it under the door. And I just remember on the back, I remember seeing Heihachi and Nina on the back, and like I never saw someone's hair like that. Like, he was bald headed, had like the weird hairstyle. So I was obviously intrigued by it. So then we paused into the PS1, and then I just remember the first character I played was Paul Phoenix, and I was hooked. That's when I fell in love with Tekken. Yeah. And then after that, you know, I got Tekken Tag. Then, you know, Tekken 4, and just so on and so forth. I didn't play Tekken 2 until I got Tekken 5, and I played on Arcade History. That was my introduction. That was when I first saw Tekken 2 and Tekken 1. Yep.
Yeah, no, that's so cool. Yeah, Paul Phoenix. God, he can be a pest. Oh, in the right hands, man. In the right hands, he can be a right pain in the ass.
The thing about me is I'm a Capo fan. I'm a huge Eddie Gordo fan.
Oh, nice.
That's like my all-time favorite character. So I know he's cheap, but hey, you know what? I love playing cheap. I like cheap characters sometimes.
Well, I definitely. Well, see, I love using Hwang, and of course before that, Baek Do-san. So, like, you know, being a Taekwondo, like when I used to teach it, like obviously I gravitated to them. So I love kicks. Definitely love the kicks. So Eddie was pretty awesome as well. There's a good movie. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's got Mark Dacascos in it. Called Only the Strong. If you want to look.
Only the Strong. Yeah. Is it on streaming services?
Probably not. But if you have access to the high seas, if you get my meaning, you'll definitely find it. It is I cannot say this enough. It is absolutely brilliant. It was my first introduction to capoeira, and it is phenomenal. Truly, just a brilliant film. Check it, like sincerely, dude. Only the Strong, Mark Dacascos. Check it out. It's amazing. So
I'm making a note of this. Only the Strong.
So and he was Mark Dacascos. He also played Kung Lao in I think Legacy Season 2 for Mortal Kombat as well. So
Okay.
yeah, and he was also in Brotherhood of the Wolf, which is a brilliant film as well. So he was the martial arty type guy in that, like the Native American. Yeah, brilliant actor, really nice guy. It seems just Only the Strong is an incredible movie. Another good movie too. He's not in it, but it's another one just to finalize before I go. It's called Perfect Weapon. Right?
Okay.
It's called The Perfect Weapon, starring Jeff Speakman. So if you didn't have chest hairs, you will after you watch those two movies. I recommend them. They're brilliant martial art movies. Just amazing, and really sort of like there's no sequels or anything either. Like they're just one and done. That was it. But I actually liked that. I thought it was really great. So
can't wait to watch
and Mark Dacascos, that's the other one I was thinking. He was in Crying Freeman as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Crying Freeman. Yeah, so
definitely check them out. Making note of it right now.
Yeah, I think you'll love them, dude. Yeah, I think you'll love them. So, but anyway, guys, we better roll it up, because I got to go do some stuff. But I want to thank everyone that tuned in for the chat. It was awesome. It was good to meet you, dude. We'll have to do this again.
Oh, definitely. So when I get free time, because I know I'll be pretty busy, definitely we got to do this again.
Yeah.
So much more to talk about.
So I will post a link in the description for Mr. Confessions Twitter page, so you guys can go check him out and watch the meltdowns continue over there, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, anything you want to say before we go, man?
Thank you. I just want to say thank you for having me on this podcast. It was awesome talking to you. It feels like I feel like I've known you. Like I said, like our conversations just flow so naturally. Yeah. And like I said, I would love to do this again. You put me on some awesome movies. I'm definitely gonna check out this weekend. So like I said, thanks, man. I said definitely can't wait to do it again. Yeah. Somebody said in chat, by the way, you can watch Only the Strong. It's free on YouTube, dudes. So maybe check. YouTube? Yeah. So maybe check YouTube. Maybe somebody's just uploaded them. You can watch them on there. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. I'll just close up and then I'll say a quick bye here. But I will catch you guys all next time. And thanks again. See ya.